Adelaide.
He's been an outstanding player, though, David. All year, Biglands has carried the rucks for the Eagles. He played superbly in the state game for South Australia, and he probably has been the best big man in the competition this year. Very consistent, and I know that there's a lot of AFL scouts with their eyes on Biglands this year. You've been impressed with him, Mark?
Oh, he has. He's really has been in outstanding form, along with Pearce also for the Eagles. But Biglands this year would have to be favourite, along with Pearce for this year's McGarry medal.
Michael Avon, Tim Slavin and Andrew Vickers, the umpires in this match. Stay with us. We are live until 5 on ABC TV Sport. Your commentators, Mark Nayley and Tim Juniper.
Thank you, David. Umpires just waiting there, getting a signal from both captains to start the round 16 from Woodville Oval. Rucking will be Biglands up against Spanigal at the first touch of the afternoon. A good bounce by the umpire gives Biglands a chance to get his hands on the football. He does that well. Cicarella gets the first touch of the afternoon. Can't do much with it. The ball just spills out. Plays quickly onto it. And again, the umpire just outside, and now the centre circle will bounce again. Perfect conditions here at Woodville Oval. The ground has not been affected by the rains we had a month or so ago. This time Spanigal gets his hand on the ball. Down to Cicarella again. He kicks the ball up forward. A chance here now for Jared Poulton. He'll get there first. The little terrier. Good work. The Eagles forwards just be able to get there in front. Number 17, the Eagles match is Andrew Crowell, playing a centre half forward this afternoon. Half forward line. Ball thrown in. Spanigal again up against Biglands. The ball comes out over the back. Rogers is up there, also there with Fegert. Fegert gets the free kick, or decides to play on. He goes wider still. Out to Card. Quick kick along the ground. Good pick up there by Vines. He handballs the ball, gains about 15 metres. And a chance now for the players just to get across to the contest.
Just when I was downstairs, I was just having a feel of the breeze, and it was coming right across the ground, and it's really not favouring either end.
Good shot of the Eagles bench there. Michael Parsons will fill us in shortly as Cicarella applies a tackle on McGuinness. The ball spills free. Fraser can't take the ball clear. Finally, it's Fegert who gets it out forward to go Port Adelaide as we go down to Michael Parsons.
Yes, you had a look at the Eagles bench there. Spiro Darzanos, we thought he'd start on the wing, but he's sitting down. Big Jeff Wiggins will change into the ruck off the bench, and Jason James coming in for Pathy Pavlich.
11 is Spanigal, opposed to Biglands. Biglands takes it out of the ruck, drives the ball forward through half forward. Carter was good to capture the ball and give the reflex handball quickly out to Fegert. 2 possessions early in this quarter for him, and it's Polton, the tough man from the back pocket. Goes along the outside, big fly Pearce, and it's a mark. But Port Adelaide have got a free kick downfield, said the umpire.
Oh, Pearce will be disappointed with that because he's taken a very nice little sit on Danny Morgan's head there. So good grab, but there was interference before that to Brown.
Obst in the midfield. Distributes it wide, playing possession football. Morgan was the target, so that's a battle we'll look for today. Morgan and Pearce, 33 for the Eagles. Around the corner was Shirley, and underneath this one, Pesh. First game for the year for him. He just gets a feel of the ball, and the Eagles go forward. Biglands through half forward, and great desperate work, Fegert. But it ricochets up to Whelan, who comes through half forward. Colville crashes forward, just kept coming. It was a good commitment to the contest, and Colville's gone down. Fraser for Port Adelaide distributes it grandstand side, and here comes Carter.
Well, that was Sheehan, just straight through like a steam train. Good guts by Colville, kept his eyes on the football, but good work by Sheehan as well.
Kick up forward now. Can see Brown will take this. He decides to knock it on. Good, intelligent work by the big fella. He kicks it up forward. Chance now coming across the back there is Pearce. Pearce will go over the top. He does that. The running players now. 25 is Holland. Just placed his kick. The kick wasn't good. Clayton cuts it off. He's tackled there by McCarthy. Comes over the back. McGuinness does a blind turn. Pirouettes, then turns and kicks. Heads towards centre half forward. Battle of strength here. A good mark going back with Robert Shirley.
It's a good grab. He's impressed me, Shirley, on a half-back flank. Saw him here early in the season against Sturt. And their half-back line has been very impressive for the Eagles.
Biglands has got away to a fly. Pesh is the target. Well, he just didn't go hard enough at it, Pesh. It's a lack of football, you might suspect. Kluzek gets the handball away. Polton grabs the ball and crashes through. Really tough and committed defender as he goes to half forward. The kick wasn't a good one. Pearce pops up nicely. Fruin looks for a release and goes to the back door. Now the Eagles just work it out back there. Good combination to Shirley. And underneath that's on Lees. Thumps it down. Comes again. Cluzak, that's Chris Cluzak. Floriani, not much pace, but a tough campaigner. Unprotected goal, goes long, it might bounce. Good judgment, great judgment. Floriani saw the goal was unprotected and just lobbed it into the square and ran it through.
Well, David, I think you've given him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll run with that as well. Well done, Floriani, but good piece of work on the half-back flank. You've got to blame Polton, coming from half-back flank here for the Magpies. Distributed the ball on his left foot, poor disposal. Ball turned over by the Eagles. Great goal on the end. We see Colville limping off too after that clash, Mark.
Yeah, a good sign there. We might just go down to Michael Parsons for a quick update.
Yes, boys, Colville's come off. He's very uncomfortable. Looks like he could have picked up a cork thigh, but we'll wander up and have a chat with the doctor in a moment.
Dylan coming across there. Goes at it again. In there again is Floriani. Ducks his head. The umpire pays is too high. He was going to ground.
That's a good clash of two blokes going straight for the footy, wasn't it?
Great clash. Floriani kicks up looking for Matthew Cluzak at the back. Again, the big Spanicle just decides to push his weight around. Takes out the player in Whelan. The kick's gone up. Gone through another behind. So 1-1-7, the Eagles. Would Adelaide get to score?
Quick start by the Eagles too. They got the ball out of the centre both times. Jason Dillon getting early touches. Vines might just have to tighten up on him.
Clayton, the designated kicker for Port Adelaide, has got Polton wide, but instead goes for Carter. Carter and Floriani's a good matchup for Port Adelaide. Carter's good in the air. Floriani just lacks a few centimetres. Polton caused a goal for the Eagles earlier, and this one's out of bounds on the full. You just suspect him, he's trying to do too much. Yeah,
I like Jarrett's straight line football, but sometimes you're right, he just wants to go that extra bit. I think once he got past the first tackle, get it on the boot.
McCarthy, who's missed a few this year for the Eagles with injury. Sheehan, big thump. He looks more comfortable, Tim, in defence.
And I think we've got Michael Parsons looking at the Port Adelaide interchange.
Yeah, you'll see there Matt Ashley, Greg Dempsey and Scooter Hahn sitting down, waiting their turn.
Ball thrown in. Good pick up there by Pesh. Tried to get his boot to the ball. It was smothered off the boot. Biglands puts his head down, grabs the football, then goes for the free kick. Obbs is in there again. Hard at it as ever. Spiro Darzanos has come on to replace Colville.
Obbs is such a good in-close player. He's played so many games now. He really knows what he's doing around those packs.
Inside 50 for the Eagles. Bounce again is good. Bigland's tried to get his hand to it. Spanigle gets it first. Carter again gets the kick away. Nearly out of bounds. Was the cry from the Magpies supporters here at Woodville Oval.
The umpire was right there, Tim, but the critic looked a good half a metre out.
He did at that. Maybe he thought he was holding the ball inside. Unsighted, said the umpire.
From the throw-in, Bigland's front position. He seems to grab it. Down it goes. Oh, great snap, Darzanos. He's a slippery customer. One of the criticisms, Tim, was that he doesn't kick enough goals off the wing, but when you see him rove like that, he's got some versatility.
Oh, look, he's only a young fella. He's got plenty of time to develop it. Look at Biglands. That's the handwork that got the tap forward. Darzanos all on his own. Port Adelaide probably should have manned up a little bit better in that contest.
Yeah, Tim, you don't find too many ruckmen that actually go forward inside the 50 to actually take the ruck work.
Good point. Michael Parsons is down there.
Yes, with me, Dr. James Illick, the club doctor for the Eagles, just gives some technical details on what's happened to Colville's leg.
The non-technical details is basically the cork of his calf. Rest him for a few minutes and see how he goes.
Excellent, thanks.
The technical term, Mark, is what? Well, we'll come to that shortly as Tregenza goes forward. Evans out on the lead, couldn't quite take it. Floriani takes possession of the ball. Good pressure applied. Amongst them was Fraser, and the ball forced for a bounce.
I might just ask for a stat here off Moggy. Inside's 50. I know it's early, but Eagles probably be in there 4-1, I reckon, something like that.
7-2.
7-2. There you go. Worse than I thought.
So the Eagles are doing all of the attacking. Fruin thumps it down. At Port Adelaide, they need something here. Tregenza caught short in the pocket. 53.
Holmes
was Holmes, first gamer. Oh, Fruin and Rogers try and work it out. It's 3-1 in the contest. Rogers got out the handball in the final wash, but Fraser was quick enough to flip it forward. 29 cut crashing through his vines, and he goes for goals, but misses comprehensively too.
Missed everything in the end. Just rushed his work a little bit and maybe could have turned the ball around for a drop punt, but good work, a good build-up, and some good pressure in the forward line, which I think Gary Treadray, who's coaching today, would be pleased with. But the Eagles have got away to a bit of a flyer, so Port need to hit back with a goal.
Kick back in, a chance again for Biglan's. Over the top with the big thump with Spanigal. Comes to the ground now. Players in there to get hold of the football. One being McGuinness. He's hard at it again. A couple other games being played around the state this afternoon. We go out to Elizabeth, where we see Central's lead by 1 point over the Bloods. And down at Noongar, well, the Panthers are off to a great start. They're 25. North Adelaide yet to score.
Well, there's a gentle breeze here. What would you expect down there, Mark? What do you reckon?
Oh, it could be an 8 to 10.
I think North Adelaide are playing for priority draft picks, aren't they?
Well, you wish that was in.
Well, dear me, you worry about the Roosters. Gee, Chris McDermott held them for about 45 minutes after last week's game. Their confidence shattered. Vines around the corner, squares it up beautifully. Good contest, Evans and Hall. Oh, Hall's not happy. He said, I'm going for the ball, Umpy, and Tim Slavin has given the free kick. What do you reckon, Tim?
Oh, look, I think two or three earlier were probably a bit worse than that, but maybe it's Paul Evans just said to him, look, hang on, he's hanging on to me jumper. Have a look at him, and then perhaps they jump onto it. I guess there's no harm in giving umpires a little bit of encouragement, David.
Yeah, but the point you'd make, I guess, there is if
the free kick was there, David.
Oh, okay, all right. 2-1. But the point I'm making...
It was high on the shoulder when he went for the spoil. Over the top. We'll just see him go back now.
Comment, umpire's friend, Mark Nailey, as Evans goes for goal. He's replaced Filippo as the spearhead, and he misses. Filippo's out injured, Tim.
He is. He's started off very, very well this year. Bit of a hip problem, but he's such a big forward. He's a dangerous man. I'm sure that when he comes back, he will find a spot.
Hall to bring the ball back in. He goes out wide looking for Biglands. Spanigal's there with him. Good pick up there by Biglands. Couldn't hold the mark. Carter's quickly onto it. Carter's tackled without the football. The umpires call play on. Again, we see Big Biglands acting as a rover. Oh, a little bit of clever work done inside there. 33 is Ricky O'Loughlin. Back at it again for the second effort. You just see Biglands in the back of that pack there. Wasn't too happy with himself. He had a chance to take the mark.
If you are wondering, that is Michael O'Loughlin's brother, Ricky.
Well, what about Sigalella applying the smother, 2 smothers, just to keep the ball in the air? It was terrific. Now, Jason Dillon, I didn't pick him up earlier. I called him Chris Kluzak. He's blonded his hair, Tim. Did you ever try that?
Not once.
So it's Jason Dillon with the blonde hair. We'll watch for him during the day as Biglands just misses the mark a little bit, or perhaps give credit to Carter dropping back into the hole.
He did very well there, but they've got to move the ball a little bit quicker.
Obst in the midfield. Well, he looks rejuvenated, doesn't he? Early in the year, we saw him restricted for fitness and not running freely, but Obst looks pretty fit now, and Carter is crashing at everything from half back.
Yeah, Obst's last couple of weeks have been very good. He has found his mark and been rewarded with the centre position this week.
Carter for his 7th possession, goes back, thumps the ball up looking for Big Brown. Brown will jump at this. Couldn't quite get his hands onto it. Again, Port players will take control. That was Fraser with quick hands. Couldn't find a target. Pearce quite happy to see the ball out over the line. Look,
I'm happy with a defence running. There's no dramas with that. But Port Adelaide at the moment, they've got one person in the back half of the oval. I mean, you really do got to push back once you've run forward.
Druin. Sorry, Mark. Crashing through. Pearce couldn't quite take control. Now it's Dobbs. Quick kick forward into space. It goes deep into the pocket. Here comes Hall and Evans. Evans held Hall out of the contest. McGuinness just forces it towards Cool at the square. He only has to take it and go, and McCarthy got him, pushed him in the back, and I reckon that one was fair enough.
Yeah, there was no doubt about that. It was just a clumsy tackle in the desperation.
Now, where will the umpire take him?
Oh, you'll put him right on the hardest angle you can imagine.
Well, the rule says you line them up from where the incident took place to the centre of the goals. And in fairness to the umpire, and the true technicality, that's dead right. He was right on the point.
The umpire's correct. No, you're dead right.
Gee, there's some Port Adelaide fans out there who aren't happy, though.
Oh, no, because it is a difficult rule to understand. I tell you, I only asked how it was implemented about 2 years ago. Well, I didn't know.
Poole will run close to the man on the mark. He'll deviate at the last minute and just bend it around the corner.
Well, he should.
This is not a difficult kick.
He's done it well.
As you would expect. And he gets Port Adelaide's first.
He did it that, but there was some good work done earlier. Port Adelaide, like I said, a very, very crowded forward line. And there was just some hard work done by McGuinness and a few others to get the ball in there to Paul, and then just a clumsy tackle by McCarthy in his desperation. Gave away a free kick, but that was a much-needed goal by the Magpies, because the Eagles have started very well here today, and they're a good running side. And what's really impressed me about the Eagles this year, they never give in. I saw them at Norwood Oval, 8 goals down at one stage, nearly come back and win the game. So I am impressed with them this season.
2-1-13 plays the Magpies, 1-1-7. So the first major for the Magpies through Darryl Poole. Biglands read the knock a bit better, gets it down to Pearce. Pearce quickly around to his left leg, kicks it up forward. Chance for Dillon, he should have taken that ball. Couldn't. Vines gets it back now. Carter again holds ground. Dodges one player, then releases the football. A chance again. Fegan's taken high. Umpire calls the advantage to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin kicks the ball inside 50. Where's Big Paul? Jumps over the top of the pack. Flattened the pack, in fact. Handball again now for the Eagles. They should clear this, they do. Coming through hard. Look like Floriani. Kicks the ball up. Oh, good mark. Sun in his eyes. Most players missed it. Whelan just caught enough of the football to take it. He kicks up looking for Kluzak. Comes back to Pesh. Pesh around his body. The mark should be taken safely back there by Carter.
Yeah, good work in the end. Fega's just trying to play on there, but he'll have to come back and give the ball back to Carter. But Holland off the half-back flank was very, very well done. Just have a look at the grab here by Whelan. Carter's hands actually got in the way of his vision as well as the sun, so it was a good grab in the end, just reflex.
Sheehan playing pretty well in defence for Port Adelaide. It's a high ball. Here comes Spanigal, winds himself up. Biglands took front position, couldn't quite complete the mark, and getting the kick away. Was that Whelan?
Yeah, it was again.
I think it was, and it went out of bounds on the full.
Just with Sheehan, he got an opportunity to get a game when Brian Lees was suspended for 1 week, and he played centre-half back in the game against Glenelg, the curtain raiser at Football Park, and he played absolutely outstanding. They couldn't drop him.
Well, Tim, didn't
kept his spot ever since.
Didn't he go over to Carlton with a pretty big junior reputation?
He did for a season, yes, he did.
So he obviously had some ability, but he just seems to be maturing now and reaching his potential.
The funny thing is sometimes people do mature later in life. Port Adelaide there going right across the other side of the ground, kicking it out of bounds in the full.
That was Fegan.
Not very direct footy.
14 is Darzanos. He should take this football. He can't keep it inside. The umpire will come across, throw the ball back in.
Well, it reminds me, Mark, of Peter Matera, the way Darzanos runs and kicks.
Similar haircut at the moment. I'll give you that.
Ball's in. Again, Biglands gets his hand on the football. It's knocked forward. Chance again for Darzanos. Carter goes for the safety of the boundary line. Again, the boundary umpire will set it up.
Tim Carter for marks and 10 possessions. Why was he delisted by the Power?
He was actually very unlucky, to think about it. He'd hung around like a couple of others, like Darren Mead, to wait for the Power's entry. And in his first year, he's been inconsistent, didn't get an opportunity to really show what he can do, and had a very, I suppose, despondent year, and unlucky to get cut. I think he would have played a lot better in his second year, but you got to admire the way that he's come back to this competition and performed well.
Eagles by 6 points. Chance again, and Rogers has come down as well. Biglan's hands over the ball. Good work in close there by Pearce. He finds again Darzanos. The kick again, trying to bring it to the top of the square. Didn't find an Eagles player. Chance, and again, the Magpies now to clear. Out to Morgan. Half-back flank. Will kick down the line. He goes in that direction. Looks for Clayton. Oh, over the top. Keeping it in there was Tregenza. McCarthy ducks his head. Good umpiring. Called it play on. Again, players in there. McCarthy goes over the top to Ugrinik. Ugrinik can set this up if the kick's good. Kluzak will take it. It wasn't good. In fact, it's out of bounds. Out of bounds on the full. Will be kicked back in.
So why would Kluzak lead there?
It's very wide, isn't it? It's very wide. It's not productive. Come up the corridor.
All the runners headed to the middle where they should have been. And Kluzak threw the whole thing out of kilter by going deep in the pocket. This is Morgan. He's been tough and mean for Port Adelaide, but the kick wasn't good. Pearce, well, the umpire made him earn it because he didn't blow the whistle and paid the 2-grab attempt. Sigalella. I like this kid's balance and poise. He goes pretty hard at it, and he uses the ball beautifully to Pesh. Welcome back, Nick Pesh. He's been a long time out of the Eagles lineup.
Well, you're right about Sigalella, though. Just poise and took his time, saw a target out wide and hit it. And that's what you've got to do. There's been a lot of turnovers in this game so far by both teams. I think it'd be a bit frustrating in the coach's box for both clubs.
Nick Pesh, an Eagle, who went to the Crows and then traded to Melbourne, back to win a best and fairest with the Eagles. Played in their premiership team of 93. He's got a fair bit of experience and a bit of go about him. A lot of quality, and that one is a great kick.
Oh, he's a quality player, exactly that. I just think the turnover by Danny Morgan, he just didn't quite get enough length on his kick. Pearce cut it off, and then Sikalella hit the target. And Nick Pesh is just one of those guys. He reminds me of a David Marshall, you know, one of those blokes that can just, when he gets a possession, he just nails it. And, you know, they're special footballers, and they're ones that can just carve you up. Go down the boundary line. Michael Parsons, you're down there, son.
Yes, mate, enjoying the footy and a summer's day, but looking for another marking option up forward over the Eagles, and Jeff Wiggins has come on into the forward pocket to replace Spiro Darzanos.
Rogers gives the ball out to Ugrini. A great contest here. He has a chance now. Good support there by Pearce. Sets up Ugrini. He heads to the square. Where's the big player in Wiggins? He's now being moved to full forward.
Well done.
Kluzak out to a half-forward flank. Chance now for the Magpies through Tregenza. He don't waste the possession. Finds Fraser on the outer wing. Fraser down the line. Tips the ball out in front of Brown. He runs onto it well. Takes the mark. Gets back. What I'd like to see is get that head around quickly. See what's further afield. He drives it high. Darryl Poole there in front. Good mark by Big Pooley in front of Filippo.
How easy was that?
Poole heads the top. Mark nearly taken over the top there. 53 was Holmes. A chance to have a game this afternoon. And again, Ugritic sees the ball out of the line. Go out to Elizabeth. We see Centrals. They're 10. West Adelaide are kicked up. They're 18. And down Noongar. Just wait for that score between South and North Adelaide. Back with live action here on the ABC this afternoon. As we said, Magpies top of the table at the moment. The Eagles desperately trying to hang on to third position. Down Noongar North. Well, there's 6. They've got a goal on the board, but the Panthers are kicked away. They're 44.
Well, either the Panthers are very fired up or there's a very strong breeze at Noongar as Fraser kicks for goal.
Fraser puts it up high. It's a good kick. It's cleared the pack, I believe. We'll wait for the umpire's decision. He puts up the 2 fingers. So the first major for Fraser.
Well done, Fraser. He finished off very well there, but some good work here by Danny Morgan. Got his head over the football, scooted out a handball to Tregenza, and a bit of a fortuitous kick from Tregenza because it come off the inside of his boot, landed on Fraser's chest, and he finished off. But got a good contest on our hands now. The breeze isn't favouring either end, really. And only the 1 goal in it. Should be a good game.
6 points the difference. Late in the final quarter, almost 22 minutes played. At the bounce, Spanigal opposed to Biggles. The bounce favours Spanigal, who takes it out the end, looks for a handball, but Biggles was good for the second effort. Just grabbed the ball and drove it long and into the forward line. Kluzak couldn't get there, but Biggles certainly has done his job. Now, what about the marks, Mark Nayley? Port Adelaide dominating the air.
Yes, we've seen Carter. I mean, he's played a pretty important part. Adding to that, with I think 4 marks so far in the game. He has been on top, but Biglins again, he moves up forward, but Wiggins this time. Wiggins will take the ruck to. Gets it down to Pesh. Pesh again, off 1 step. Kicks the ball up high, won't make the distance. And is pushed out over the boundary line. Actually, in fact, it hit the behind post. The ball will be thrown in. Chance again for the Eagles to add to their score. They lead by 6 points.
Good lineup of Eagle supporters there. 2,500 the average for the Eagles this year, and they are playing a very exciting brand of football. Lee's across the top. Shirley flicks it wide. Dillon goes around the corner, sizes up the goals. He took his time to have a look, but it's just offline. The Eagles are 20, Port Adelaide at 13. It's a 7-point ball game.
Well, Dillon there sporting a new hairstyle, new colour in fact. We see the huddle forming at centre half back here. Eagles players only got 2 outriders. One is Pesh on the members' side. Shealy on the side. Now Carter will contest as Poulton comes in. Good work by Pesh. Ugritic Across now to Kluzak. He's got some time. Just can't bring the ball back quite far enough. It's out of bounds on the full.
Kluzak's making life hard for himself, Tim.
Oh, that was a difficult snap on that occasion, but some good work by Pesh Crumming beautifully. I know you're saying he's going too wide in the pockets, but Pesh did some beautiful work there. And good pressure by the Port defence to force him out that way.
Morgan from deep in the back pocket. McCarthy up and grabs it right on the 50-metre line. Now, he's a powerful kick and is certainly capable of kicking this one.
I don't think so. With the breeze, and this is a big statement, isn't it, before he kicks it, but I just reckon with the breeze, you really need to punch it to that right post, kick it about 55.
If you come down and watch training,
if he kicks that, he's a very...
One of the things he does very well at training is he sets himself up beautifully, and he takes 20 or 30 deliberate shots.
He's got a lot of experience, hasn't he?
And he has, and he trains pretty well.
Right,
he's done this this year 100 times.
Oh, look at the kick, David Mackay, you called it.
You did right.
Yeah, look, he's a true professional. You watch him do that at training. On 10 shots, he'll kick probably 8. And he goes back each time, sizes it up, and he kicks.
You need to be a powerful kick to kick that in the way the breeze is coming across the front. See the way his ball hardly ever deviated. Anybody else probably would have had that ball fading across to the left, but that's a very, very powerful kick by McCarthy.
If there's a feature of his game, is that he can do that.
Well, that is a very good feature.
And his tenacity and sheer guts.
4-2-26, the Magpies 2-1, so they kick away. 13-point margin to the Eagles. Biglands again. Spanigal this time gets his hand on the ball. Grinnick throws the ball out. Gains about 15 metres. Good work by Holmes. Handball back to Paulton. Paulton left leg. Chips wide to find Vines. Vines should pick this up. He's got some time on his hands. He does that. Great kick by Vines towards Morgan. Morgan takes it again. He gets back quickly over the top. Now let's put a bit of pressure here. Rogers over the top of Obbs. Carter's rung down from a half-back flank. Inside to Brown. Damien Brown gives the handball back again to Fraser. Outside 50 is Obbs. He kicks it high. Darryl Poole. Great courage there shown by Shirley. Shirley's sitting on top of it. He will be penalised. And the umpire doesn't.
Now, I reckon that's the rule, Tim, isn't it? You grab the ball and hold it in and don't get it out. They've got to blow their whistle.
It was very, very dangerous there. Andrew Vickers has given him the benefit of the doubt, but he was right on the pump. The Eagles have made some good forward thrusts and look a bit more open in their forward line than the Magpies do at this stage.
Well, Dave, I'm just trying to cast my mind back to the last time a coach couldn't coach his side on a Saturday because of illness. Now, we're seeing Stephen Williams in 2 weeks miss taking charge of his players.
I remember John Cale, Tim, he coached a few years back.
He missed one. Stephen is very ill, though, apparently.
Biglands, good mark overhead. He's got the running Pesh if he wants to use him. He doesn't. Oh, he started very well as Biglands. The kick's not good. Genja should gobble this up. He does. Puts the hands up, takes the mark. Now, he's got players wide. The kick wasn't good for Lees, who will be contested with McCarthy. Again, we see the pirouette. They must practice that at training, Tim.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, Mark. He's in the ballet.
Coming through, Clayton chips it up. The kick under a fair bit of pressure. It's out of bounds on the full.
27.5 minutes played, late in the first quarter. And Hall, the state full-back, who gets the job today on the very dangerous Paul Evans, will bring the ball back into play for the Eagles. Sizes up the option. Bruin was at the front. From behind him was first gamer Andrew Crowell taking the flight, but the experience of Lees sitting at the back, forced on the left boot. Morgan the target underneath it, dishes out the handball. O'Loughlin, Fraser, outside 50. They're just trying to work it around Port Adelaide. It's a bit like basketball. Clayton and Obbs crashes the front of the pack. Holland slick handball to Hall. Hall, a high one around the corner, but look at this. Tregenza was sitting back there. McCarthy, two-handed attempt, couldn't complete it. Tregenza dragged off it. Play on, said the umpire. And off goes Ugritic. The speedster squares it up, plays the corridor beautifully. Chris Kluzak led to the right spot. It sits now for Biglands. 1 step, 2 steps, squares it up.
Oh, terrific
goals. What an inspirational goal for the Eagles. From defence to full forward, and a big goal to their big ruckman.
Well, in the end, that started right in the back pocket. Obbs come across the front of the pack and probably might have interfered with Poole taking the grab. Came up to the wing position here where Tregenza did pretty well to get the ball off McCarthy, but Ugrinic sprinted away with the crumbs. This is great work by a big man. You watch, he knows he's got some time here, knows he's clear. Kicks almost a check side on his right foot.
On the run.
Flat out.
Yeah, what's he, 198 centimetres?
That's a great goal, and I tell you what,
That'd be a great goal for
there are
Rover.
people looking at him. Don't worry about that.
What a great contest we're witnessing here this afternoon. The Eagles 5-2-32, the Magpies 2-1-13. Bounce wasn't good. Pearce was quick and clever. He's at it again, Pearce. Ops pushes him off the ball. Goes out wide. Holmes forced to go over his shoulder. Didn't look. Andrew Rogers is back there. He's got time again. Rogers, as cool as a Kelvinator, takes it, kicks it up towards centre half forward. Bigland's again's there. Oh, he's everywhere at the moment, the big fella. Coming through hard there. Good work by Fraser. Gives it back to Polton. Polton, steady as ever, goes wide. It kicks out. Good mark overhead. Taken out there by 33 and Ricky O'Loughlin.
As we go down to the boundary line.
Yes, with me, the Eagles club, Dr. James. How is Colville?
We'll retest him at quarter time. He's a chance of coming back.
All right, thanks very much. We'll talk again.
Thanks, Michael. 2 is Filippo. Michael Filippo. Now, wouldn't it have been interesting today, Tim, if Sam Filippo had played in the forward line? You might well have seen Sam and Michael picking up each other. 2 brothers.
Be interesting, wouldn't it? Be like the backyard again.
Yes. Who wins? I guess the older brother most of the time, doesn't he?
Well, they reckon the Michael can fight.
Yes, he can. Through and in ruck. No clear ruck winner there. Holmes on top of the ball. And another bounce. We're 30.5 minutes. It's been a very long first quarter. And Port Adelaide today, without their skipper, David Brown, who's sitting in the grandstand, I believe Timmy's dislocated a shoulder.
Well, actually, I was talking to Brownie this morning. He's actually just done some ligaments on the shoulder right up near the neck. So he reckons it's not too serious and might only miss 2 games.
That'll be a bonus. O'Loughlin. Clever ball around the corner. Good vision, clever skills. And Brown is marked. This is Damien Brown. Just outside 50. He'll take the kick just inside. Lobs it right to the point of the square. Evans is there. McCarthy, big five. The siren has sounded. And at quarter time, what's happening here?
Oh, he's not going to pay the point. He has. David, the siren was gone for a good 3 or 4 or 5 seconds.
Well, remember that the game doesn't finish, Tim, until the umpire acknowledges the siren.
He didn't pay.
So they're right?
He just took the flags out and walked up the middle. So the score will remain the same. The Eagles 5-2-32, leading Port Adelaide 2-1-13.
Well, Tim, you've got to suggest that the Eagles, more times in their forward zone, but Port Adelaide dominated the year, but they couldn't find an effective forward.
Well, basically, I think their forward line was crowded, very crowded, and at times they were slow to move the ball on, and I just felt that the Eagles had time to get back and block it up. Their defence worked very well, I thought. That's probably where a couple of the Eagles' goals came from, right from the back pocket. They started it, shifted it down the wing with speed and accuracy, hit their targets, and they've been a lot more open in their forward 50, so credit to the Eagles in the first quarter.
Yes, we see Gavin Colville just testing that car. Quarter-time scores here at Woodville Oval. See the Eagles. They're 5-2-32, kicking with a slight advantage of the breeze here against the Magpies, 2-1-13. And you're watching all the SANFL action live to ABC Sport.
5 seconds. Here we go. Oh, I hope you're enjoying this one, a big one from Woodville Oval. The Eagles have got an imposing record at home this year, haven't they? And they look like they're doing the job at quarter time. 19 points the margin. Hope you're enjoying this one. Well, it's time to profile, Michael Filippo. Now, his dad, Peter, played umpteen games, captained the Eagles a long time ago. Sam started his career, his older brother. And Michael is 1 game off 50. He plays his 49th game today. He plays his 50th next week. It's time to profile a born and bred Eagle.
Good. Okay, runs 123.
Got there the long way.
It is, Dennis.
That's right. Born and bred an Eagle.
You got your jacket done up, haven't you, David? Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
When I lean forward, it sometimes gapes, that's all.
No worries.
Jimmy, who's that big guy with the black hair?
Where?
Who's that big guy there?
Is there? I think his name's Who's that lucky list? Where is he?
30 seconds.
Oh, he's come from the 19s.
Rovers goal to Darzanos.
Pardon?
Spiro Darzanos started on the bench, came on, and he ended up with a goal.
15.
Free kick, pool goal, and then Sicarella to Pesh and a goal.
10 seconds. Here we go.
Well, maybe they will. It's not a bad goal. They've got a great pedigree, that family.
They certainly have, and he wants to play finals, and if the Eagles can win today, they'll keep that third spot, which is all important, isn't it, for the double chance? Plus, there's a big blockade, isn't there, from about second to bottom upwards, isn't there, to try and make the finals.
And they reckon that Michael's mum, Verena, plays a pretty tough game of footy in the backyard as well.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No doubt about that. Well, Spiro Darzanos, Tim, started on the interchange bench, came on, and he created an impact as soon as he came on.
He's a very quick player, isn't he? He's very clever, but I give that goal credit to Biglands, the way he punched it down, just palmed it beautifully in front. He was all on his own, Darzanos, finished it off well. And that's great when you just come on the ground and you can kick a goal straight away. Gives you confidence the world of good.
We looked at the entry into the Port Adelaide forward line midway through the quarter. They were really struggling, and I thought when Darryl Poole got a push in the back and goaled, it might have been a turning point for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, well, I think it was just characteristic of the way Port have struggled in their forward line to keep it open. Little quick kick by McGuinness, clumsy tackle by McCarthy in his desperation, and gave Darryl Poole an opportunity to kick goal. And I'm glad Darryl handled this well, because I've seen him miss easier than that.
Well, he's got some experience now, doesn't he? Now, we talked about Sicarella for the Eagles, how he uses the ball, how he holds it. We talked about Nick Pesh, first game back this year, and hasn't seen a lot of football, but this is really, I think, probably a trademark for the Eagles this year, the way they're using the ball.
Well, in the game today, we've seen a lot of turnovers by both clubs, but just a great two examples was Sicarella and Pesh, the way they use the football, and you saw it there, both of them finishing off beautifully.
And doing the job nicely. They lead by 19 points at quarter time. If you've just joined us, the Eagles doing a pretty good job early there. 5 goals 2, and Port Adelaide 2 goals 1. As we go down to Michael Parsons and the Eagles huddle.
Just make sure that we're going to go, you know, Pearce on Morgan, and Morgan goes out, Pearce goes out. Fraser on Floriano on Fraser goes out, Flo goes out. All right. Good luck. You know, the intensity, the work rate around the ball, just what we're after, no doubt about that. And it's got to be the same. It's got to maintain. That's what we come here to do, and we've done that pretty well. All right, we've done it pretty well. But we've got to keep that going. We've got to set a standard for ourselves in that area.
Mark Micken's basic message there was to maintain the intensity and look after the work rate as they run the ball into the wind this quarter. And the wind, we might add, there is a bit of breeze out here, even though the sock on the other side of the ground isn't moving around too much. There is a significant breeze, let's say a goal or two. Gary Treadray, the standing coach for Port Adelaide today, he had a fair bit to say to Michael Spanager, who really wants him to be smart with his positioning, was quite happy with the work rate out of the back line. But the basic message, think longer with this breeze.
And you could feel the frustration of Stephen Williams at home watching on the telly, Tim, not being able to coach today.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine him sitting on the couch making a few comments under his breath. But, look, yeah, I think that today's going to be a very important game for both clubs.
5-2 at quarter time. Port Adelaide 2-1, a 19-point ball game. Goal kickers for the Eagles. Pesh, Floriani, Darzanos, McCarthy and Biglands, and Fraser and Poole have singles for Port Adelaide. Statistically, Mark, you'd suspect that Port Adelaide is stronger in the air, but they're not going forward.
Well, not too often, David, you see a Magpies side. They've had 25 more possessions now. They are a side that don't waste the football, and today they are. I mean, 25 more. They've had 15 more marks than the Eagles, and still trail by 19 points, but really inside 50 is where it counts. Well, start of the second quarter here. Eagles up against the Magpies. Spanigal couldn't quite get there. Both players thought the ball might have travelled a little bit higher with that bounce. It didn't. Really a bounce there for the Rovers. Let's try it again, take 2. This one's a bit higher now. Gives Biglands a chance. He flicks. He's a very intelligent ruckman. Great palmer of the ball. Red Biglands. There's a good kick up forward. Going back. Great courage again, Jared Polton. Ball's back. He too wants to get it moving quickly. Sees Lees. He's given the option out wide. Lees down the line to Vines. Vines got runners inside. Now he puts himself under a fair bit of trouble there. 3 Eagles players hot on his hammer. It's down in front. Out wide, the captain. He'll take it. Rogers, the 34-year-old veteran, over the top to Dillon. Dillon's got time now. Good lead by Wiggins. Oh, the kick's not good. Oh, terrible setup there by Dillon. Had time on his side. Good lead forward by Wiggins.
Well, thought he was back playing for the Magpies.
Well, the problem really, fundamentally, was that Wiggins had led too early and there was no other option.
Well, Bigland's up in front again, taking a great grab. Damien Sheehan just kicking the ball long and into the path of Bigland. Just got to look there. Kick to the man in the mark there, Vines. Fraser allowed to do the crumbing. Kicks up to the wing position. Holmes and Shirley do battle. Holmes back onto it. Great diving effort there by Biglands again. Danny Morgan on hands and knees. That's where he belongs as an on-baller. Andy Obbs tries to get it out. Does well to Vines. Vines with a stabbing kick. Won't make the distance. Just falls short of Evans. Evans on a lead. Hall doing some good work on him. Fruin in there as well. Good hands out to Ricky O'Loughlin. Damien Brown's got a chance at goal. Cross the front of goal. He'll miss. And it'll be another point to the Magpies. They'll move on to 2-2. The Eagles 5-2. 18 points the difference.
The Eagles, in their enthusiasm, were just diving on the ball, but they forgot to just man up the fellows that were loose. And Brown, the ruckman, fortunately, was the one for the Eagles who got the ball. He looked to square it up, but there was no one home, so he had a shot. And really, they're a 50-50 chance from there. They go through, you're a hero, you miss, and really, I don't suppose you've really lost much.
Well, quarter-time scores also from other games. Out of Elizabeth, we see Central's 11. West Adelaide kicked away. They're on 30. And down in Noarlunga, well, the Panthers, a great opening quarter. 58 played, North Adelaide 6.
Ball back in the centre of the ground. Dillon tried to crash through, didn't take the ball with it. Danny Morgan doing some hard work, being tackled by Shirley. Obst again, he's had a reasonable day so far. Gets it up to centre half forward. Damien Brown attacked the ball and takes a good mark on his chest. That's 60 metres out, dead in front of goal. Won't make the distance. He hasn't got a powerful leg, David.
One of the reasons, Tim, that Port Adelaide didn't dominate the forward line is that Fruin really did a nullifying job on Brown. But Brown in the last 2 minutes has got clear, and that's a real danger sign for the Eagles.
Well, Timmy's backing himself here.
Well, the Breeze want to be strong. They'd want to be strong. As he comes in now, he's looking. I think he's looking for an option. Nobody's moving. Everybody thinks he's going to hit the square. He's looking for somebody to lead.
That is a problem for Port Adelaide. They've got a static forward line.
Oh, everybody's just standing in there. McGuinness and Morgan have got to move out. He's come out wide now.
Good kick.
The lead of Shane Holmes in front. That's a good grab.
Now tell me how it's left to a first gamer to provide a lead. How is that possible, Tim? You've played in this club.
Evans was not moving. He was not moving.
But don't blame Evans. There was
Phil McGuinness and Danny Morgan were just sitting in the two sort of prime areas for Evans to lead, and they were just sitting there. You can't do that, boys. You've got to get out of there.
Spanigal, I guess, had to stay at home, didn't he?
Definitely.
But Evans should have been moving. McGuinness should have been moving. O'Loughlin should have been moving.
Shane Holmes in his first game, 40 metres out. That's a good leg. I reckon it's going to hold its line. It has. That's Shane Holmes' first goal. Magpies just chip a little bit closer now. 3-2, trailing the Eagles 5-2. 12-point margin.
Dillon coming off and coming back on Gavin Colville for the Eagles. But I guess Holmes, Tim, made that play for Port Adelaide. Damien Brown had the good sense to hold the ball until he got a lead. When finally he got one, he went there. But it shouldn't be left to a rookie to provide the only lead in the forward line.
I agree with that, but everybody should know that Damien Brown isn't a long leg, and they should be moving around.
We're back in the middle of the ground here. Good ball up once again. 5-2, 32. The Magpies still on 3-2. They're 20 points, so 12-point ball game. Comes back. Lees gets it back again. He goes over his shoulder. McCarthy's there. Obbs comes across. Brown there as well. The mark nearly taken there by McCarthy. Wasn't paid. The handball intercepted by Ciccarella. Ciccarella round the corner. Great kick. Finds Whelan. Oh, he looks good. He's looking up.
Well, he's not confident kicking for goal. Normally played as a defender, Mark. They're using him as a ruck rover. Earlier in the year, he's used as a tagger, but he's not confident when he gets forward.
He gets very close to the man on the mark. The kick's only gone about 30 metres. Who chips in there? Nicholas Pesh just floated across the front of the pack that was about to form. Takes an overhead mark.
Now, I guess a lot of coaches wouldn't like to see a rover flying when there's a ruckman 6'9" in the vicinity. In fact, 2 ruckmen. Wiggins was in the area, Biglands was there. But Nick Pesh has got such a standing and a confidence that when he attacks the ball, the ruckman almost stayed back and let him fall into the hole.
So Pesh, 15 metres out, directly in front. That's his second major for the afternoon. And the Eagles again go out to an 18-point margin.
The Eagles, Mark, have been playing an exciting brand of football this year, attacking. They man up pretty well. They harass the opposition to force the turnovers. But when you see Pesh take a mark like this, and you think that Pyman is still sitting in the wings and they're still getting to get Matthew Pavlik back, the Eagles have got some options and some depth.
And down at ground level, Michael Parsons, more changes been made.
Yes, mate, they've shifted the trees around in the Port Adelaide side. Brown into the ruck, Paul come out to centre-half forward, Spanager onto the bench, and little Scooter Hahn has gone up to the forward pocket to see if they can create some movement in that Port line.
Rhett Biglands pulls the ball out of the centre square, kicks it long, leaves with a good thump, allows Carter to do the crumbing. Carter had over 10 touches in the first quarter, kicks towards a wing position. Ricky O'Loughlin allows the ball to go over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in on the outer side of Woodville Oval here. 7 minutes into the contest. The Eagles out to an 18-point lead, 6-2 to 3-2. Breeze probably not favouring either end. If it is, it's favouring the right of screen, the northern end here at Woodville Oval.
That would be the southern end, Tim?
I'll go with that. Southern end. Clayton out of the pack. Kicks long towards centre half forward. Holmes again in front. Shirley, though. Keeps the ball in front of him. Scooter Hahn straight through like he loves to play football. And his rugby gets it onto a boot. Can he get it there? Well done, Floriani. Fraser with hands out the back door. Tries to find Vines. An opportunity to snap around his body. Too much pressure by the Eagles. And he may just sneak a little point in.
Floriani, Tim, absolutely made that. One of the things you can guarantee about John Floriani, a lot of people say he can't kick and he can't run, but I'm told he's one of the first picked every week, and you'll see right here why he is. He just times his run, he gets there right at the crucial stage, and he does that time and time again. It's no fluke every time he does it.
Port Adelaide be disappointed with that.
Kicking to himself and taking off is Holland. Holland now will go wide. It's not a good kick. Where's Biglands? He gets one hand to the football. Down to McGuinness now. McGuinness just chips it. You can see O'Loughlin there. But O'Loughlin didn't want a piece of that action. Looked and saw what was forward of him, which was Hall. The kick here will be taken by Holland. Not too often you see a Port player do that, especially in the forward lines. Good kick. Just keeping possession.
Especially a goal-kicking rover, Mark. I mean, McGuinness led the club last year, didn't he? And the year before.
Again, looking for movement. McCarthy gets a lead. Wants to play on. He gets around McGuinness. Timed that beautifully. The kick's not good, but might favour Biglands. It does. He has 1-2 grabs at it. Colville's back on. That's his first touch. Seems to be running all right. Over the top, Floriani just needs to chip it up. He does that. The kick's good. Filippo's run down from the back pocket. He's got players out wide. Which way does he want to go? Go for goals. He takes my advice. One-on-one. Fegan just too strong. Nigel Fegan takes a good grab. Out wide as Lees is over his shoulder, looking for Port players. There's none on this grandstand wing. The mark there, taken again by Holland. Holland comes inboard. Ciccarella takes the mark, wants to play on. Now goes back. He's got Holland in short if he wants to use him. He doesn't. Again, we see a pretty static forward line. This time the kick is a chance for the Flyers. Where's Filippo? He was there. The free kick has been found. It has. Looks like it's against Fegan. Be picked up here by Wiggins.
The umpire said that Fegan was shepherding Wiggins out of the contest. We might get a replay. But there are two options. Wiggins and Filippo.
Wiggins goes back. The kick's not good. I think it's come across the face of goals. It has. Little stare there. He's not happy with that result.
Wiggins, Mark, injured pre-season. Didn't do much of the pre-season at all. It was forced the Eagles to play Rhett Biglands in ruck, and he's done such a good job. Now, we didn't get a shot of it there, but clearly off the ball, Fegan had done something that the umpire thought transgressed.
Out it comes. Grandstand side. Beautiful roving by Holland. Tries to get the hands out. Does that well to Pearce. Pearce has been a good player for the Eagles this year. Sneaks it through. Sensational goal to the Eagles. That's Pearce's first goal. played an interesting role today, a bit different on Morgan. But, geez, he's broken through there. Good work by Holland, crumbed the pack. And got it to Pearce. What a footballer.
Well, he straightened up, didn't he? He took off, used his pace to get clear. Once he knew that he was clear, have a look, just settles, gets a very good shepherd behind from McCarthy, and straightens up and kicks it through. He doesn't kick a lot of goals, Pearce. He normally plays as a defensive type sentiment, but when he goes forward, he can kick them.
Excellent poise.
Down at ground level, Michael Parsons.
Yes, Mark Meckham must have liked the changes that Treadray put on for Port, because he's gone the same way. New centre-half forward in Jeff Wiggins. Small man on the forward line in Zarzanos.
Oh, you critic takes on Obbs. Then goes over the top. He's taken. The kick's good at the back there as Darzanos couldn't take it in the air. Filippo onto his boot, over his shoulder. Couldn't find the direction. The big white sticks. And through for another behind. Well, the game here, the Eagles 7-4-46. They got the lead over the Magpies there, 3-3-21. And at Elizabeth Oval, Central's 18 against West Adelaide 38. 20-point margin there. And North Adelaide, their 14, still trail the Panthers on 59.
Clayton with the ball at full-back. He'll bring it back in for the Magpies. They're on a bit of a siege at the moment. Eagles have got all the momentum. Ball comes to the back of the pack. Tregenz will be the first on it. Gets around Rogers. Handles the rookie O'Loughlin. Puts the ball under the arm. Kicks it with the left foot. Comes out very wide. The outer side beats Poole and Fruin. Poole gets back on it. Tries to keep it in. There'll be a boundary throw in left forward pocket with Port Adelaide in attack.
Port Adelaide, I know, Tim, don't like to see the ball going out. Once they get the ball on the wing, they like to bring it right down towards the goal mouth and square it up a bit.
Like to get it in the corridor from the square, yes.
So I don't think Gary Treadray would be all that pleased with O'Loughlin just kicking that lazy left footer wide.
O'Loughlin now get the ball out of the pack. Quick work. Squeezes it out, but only gets another point for the Magpies. So they'll move on to 3-4, trailing the Eagles 7-4. 4-goal margin as we see an interchange coming off here. Looks like Kluzak. He's coming off the ground and being replaced by James.
Matthew Kluzak hadn't seen much of the football at all.
Well, he's been his own worst enemy, Mark. He's led wide and he hasn't really presented an option. 2 kicks, 2 handballs. But he's had his opportunities, to be fair. But instead of coming down the centre, he's been leading wide. It's just something he needs to work on and come back on.
Biglands versus Brown. Biglands off the deck. Ashley going to be first onto the ball for the Magpies. Grabs it, hooks it around his body. Brown with another opportunity. Hands to Poole. Poole inside to Morgan in the corridor. Chips it over with great vision and finds Fraser.
That's what we're talking about, Tim, isn't it? Port Adelaide were deep in the flank. 2 handball and 2 short kicks. They've squared it right up to the centre. And Fraser, who started deep at full forward, just came out and presented himself knowing the ball was coming into the corridor.
See how he goes with his leg here. Comes Fraser. He's going to get the distance easy enough, and that's as straight as you'll get. So Fraser's second goal. Port Adelaide's 4th. They move on to 4-4, trailing the Eagles 7-4. 46 plays 28, an 18-point margin.
Fraser, Tim, is one of those unique midfielder, ruck rover, flanker types. With 12 possessions in this match, he averages a goal or better a match. Well, I guess if you're coming out of the midfield and you're doing that, you're doing your job. A set of breaks, the Eagles 10-1. So the Eagles are really winning the ball out of the middle, fellas, and they're dominating. Biglands in particular has been very good.
Again, they got their hands on the football. He's jumped by Ashley. He was called. They're receiving a fair bit of attention here this afternoon. Rogers out wide for Filippo. Has been moved to centre-half forward. Lees is there with him, as tight as ever. Pushed the ball out over the boundary line.
For a short time, the Eagles had Andrew Crowell, the first game, of picking up Lees. That's a tough assignment. But I think Filippo is probably man-to-man a better matchup for the Eagles.
Ball being thrown in. Good work by Biglands. He's dominating the ruck contest at the moment. Floriani with his head over the football will get a free kick. Umpire, no. Doesn't like my decision. He's going to go with his own and bounce it. I reckon Floriani probably just was forced into the back there. Unlucky not to get a free kick.
But again, Tim, I don't want to see soft free kicks. People come to see the players really compete. And I think when the umpires put the whistle away, it encourages that.
Play on, said the umpire.
Oh, he's gone down too.
Nick Pesh gets hold of the ball. He's a good kick for goal.
Sensational.
That is his 3rd goal. They've done some great work from ruck throw-ins and bounce downs, the Eagles. with Biglan's doing all the work, getting it down to the smaller fellas. Darzanos, quick hands to get that out. Whether it was legal is another question. But Pesh, great finisher. Like I said, a la David Marshall.
We can see why this guy's the vice-captain of the club. He's not completely fit, carrying a few extra kilos, but 3 goals going into half-time makes him such a damaging player. And from only 5 kicks, value for touches, incredible.
So Biglan's, Floriani, Ciccarella and Rogers in the middle for the Eagles. Brown, uncontested, thumps the ball forward. Biglan's is onto it. He'll be taken by Ashley. Gets the kick out once again. Ashley will be taken by Colville. Inside, the supporters need it. There's Jared Polton. Coming through hard now is Darzanos. In there again is Colville. Great contest, fellas. Keep up the hard work.
Good pressure by both sides, wasn't it, Mark? Everybody's going in there.
Yes. Right in front of the commentary box here at Woodville Oval. The ball be put down. 16.5-minute mark. Eagles 52, the Magpies 28. Floriani again. He's onto this. Quick hit out. His legs, he goes down. The umpire calls play on. Shirley's up with the football. The kick wasn't controlled. Under a fair bit of pressure was Robert Shirley. It's out of bounds.
Look, sometimes, Mark, when you're under pressure, the boundary is the best place to go.
Right centre wing position, Woodville Oval, right in front of the ABC commentary. Bringing it to you live and exclusive, the ABC. Carter with the ball from the wing position, kicks it long to Paul, one-on-one. Sensational one-handed mark, quickly to play on the Scooter Hunt. Put him under the bit of pressure. Umpire got in the way, Timmy Slavin. Snapped around the body was Morgan, tried to find Evans, didn't do so. Ball's been carried over the line.
I guess that's one of the moments, Tim, that you're talking about Daryl Poole. He's marked it, he's done everything right. He's had his arm held, took a blinding one-handed mark. Then he attempts, with his back to play, doesn't know what's coming, to handball off the ground.
It wasn't a bad effort, and I've got to say that harm would have been okay. The umpire was actually in the way. Snapped around the body by McGuinness, punched through beautifully by Hall. The defence of the Eagles has been tight. They get another point to the Magpies. 4 goals, 5, trailing the Eagles 8 goal 4. Looking at a 23-point margin.
Might be time just to flick Paul Evans around. Paul seems to have his measure. Evans has got 1 point, but he hasn't really got close. And
what would you do? Who would you put where?
I just wonder whether you don't match Hall up with a Brown and just make him go body to body. It leaves Evans free to play on a lesser player.
Fair enough. Hugerning clearing the ball for the Eagles in the centre wing position over the top, but Paul nearly got on, but McCarthy stayed down and ended up with the crumbs. And was Colville, who looks like he's recovered from his calf injury. Gets it up to centre half back, but Brian Lees is absolutely destroying him there. Matthew Ashley clears the ball. Not a good kick. Going to make Holmes work hard for it. He gets hold of it now. Kicks it high to the wing position. Morgan in front of Pearce. Pearce does well to clear it. Darzanos punches it out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary throw in wing position at Woodville Oval. 23 points the margin. The Eagles in front.
Holmes had Feegert running with clear vision and just chose, you know, that's an inexperienced thing. I guess in your first game you're rushing everything, but Holmes really had Feegert as the option for the handball.
Again, Holmes goes forward with a kick up towards Big Jazzer, Daryl Poole.
I admire the way Holmes gets the ball, Mark. He finds plenty of the ball, but again, on that occasion he's gone wide when he really needed to square it up.
He has plenty of energy, and that's what I like about him at the moment. As I said, he's still got a very young head.
For a first game, he doesn't panic much, does he, Mark?
No, he hasn't. I've been impressed with what I've seen so far.
Well, I guess the thing for a rookie, the first thing you do, Tim, is you find out whether he can get the ball, and he's doing that. So at this stage, first game, you've got to say that he's doing his job.
That's a special comment.
Ball's bounced down once again, knocked away. Umpire's down again, and the kicks come through. A great kick there by McGuinness. That's a Magpie goal, and that's the first one for McGuinness.
And that's an important one. They are team lifters. They're the ones that McGuinness really needs to kick as a rover. Just roved it beautifully, took off, and around the corner, slick and precise. There was a time perhaps when there was some thought that he missed a chance at the AFL because he wasn't good enough around the goals, found plenty of the ball but sprayed his kicks. That one really nailed it when it was very important. That was a critical kick for Port Adelaide.
Only the 6 possessions for McGuinness.
Yeah.
The Eagles, 19-point leaders. Port Adelaide hit back, keeping themselves in the contest. 8-4 plays 5-5.
Very rare that Port Adelaide get killed off, Tim, isn't it?
I think they just got to hang in here, David, because the Eagles had some momentum in that beginning of the second quarter, and they've just held on, so it's been good work. Damien Brown gets a hand to it. Pearce is first on it for the Eagles. Floriani, impressed with him. He kicks the ball long. Clayton versus Pesh. Pesh gets a hand to it, gets it back on the 1-2 from Filippo. Pesh doesn't normally miss. He's a very good finisher. That's his fourth. He's doing some damage for the Eagles. That's their ninth. 9-4, 58. Port Adelaide 5-5, 35. And they're just starting to scoot away here, the Eagles.
I'm just trying to find out who's got him, because it looks like it's Clayton. But look at the confidence that Filippo had. In tight, reflex give, straight away it's off to Pesh. There's great confidence from players around Nick Pesh to give him the ball, because they know when they give it to him, he does something constructive.
He's a good finisher.
And, well, even if he didn't kick a goal, he was always going to use the ball well.
9-4, 58, the Magpies, 5-5, 35. A good bounce again. This time sees Brown will take it. O'Loughlin, very clever with his hands inside then. Goes out wide. Ashley's over the top. He heads for home. Coming out hard as Evans. Bit hard to take those ball in the air. Colville's down there as well. 45 is Whelan. He's taken on by 2 or 3 players. Enough pressure there to force the ball out over the line. So again, we're inside the 50 for the Magpies. Have played 22 minutes into the second quarter.
Right forward pocket. Magpies in attack. Tapped by Paul. Ciccolello the first onto it. Hahn tries to get a quick kick, but that'll go out of bounds on the full. And the Woodville Oval, bathed in sunshine. Good conditions here at Woodville Oval to play footy. Nice mild day. 22.5 minutes into the second quarter. The Eagles enjoy a 23-point lead. And I think the Magpies would like to sneak one in before quarter time. 23 minutes in. Long kick by Rogers. Damien Brown over the top comes Filippo. Takes a great grab. Very good hands. We'll come up to the wing position, down the line. McCarthy, Ashley in front. Floriani does the crumbing. Kicks up towards Darzanos versus Polton. Darzanos does well. Runs around the circle, might have been able to give off, doesn't do so. Kicks towards centre half forward where Ugrinic does battle with Tregenza. Tregenza did well to get it to Morgan. Morgan up to centre half forward. Obbs pushed off the football by Rogers. Ciccolello, out comes Evans, going to hit him hard. Whoa! Well done, Ciccolello, to get there first and dodge the bump. Clearing now, Hall up to the half-back flank. Going to be McGuinness with the ball. He's tackled very well. The Eagles' defence has been excellent today. O'Loughlin with it. Tries to swing it around his body. Kicks it a million miles in the air. Ashley waits for it to come down. Nearly takes it. Swings back onto his left. Damien Brown tries to get off to somebody. He might be caught on the ball. He's been caught around the neck. So free kick to Damien Brown. 45 to 50 metres out mark. He might struggle to make the distance.
Yes, Elise. Again, he reckons he will take a shot at goal. We saw it before where he went back like this. Sat patiently, looked for the short kick. He finally found one out wide. But this time, the way that he is lining up, I think he will have a shot at goals. He'll kick from around about 52 metres out. 45-degree angle. You can see it there on screen. The goalpost is not that far away. He said, not much breeze here. The kick's on its way. He's pushed it out right. He's got enough length, just hasn't got the accuracy. So enough behind for the Magpies. They move on to 5-6, 36. The Eagles still lead 9-4, 58.
I just reckon, Tim, that's probably why Damien Brown's better suited to full forward, because when he gets outside 50, you mentioned it before, he doesn't have the power in the leg, and he's just searching for distance. But if you play him on Hall, it's a good matchup, and if he does take a mark, he's 15 or 20 metres out.
Would you put Evans in the pocket?
I'd maybe bring Evans out to play a binky type half forward. He's mobile, and he takes a great grab, and he's a very accurate long kick.
Okay, I'll go with that. Paul brings the ball out for the Eagles through the half-back flank. There's a lot of players on top of that football. And umpire Tim Slade will have to come in and bounce it. And another matches today, we'll have a look. Elizabeth Oval, Central's 19, West Adelaide 57. So they are dominating that game, the Bloods.
We'll work it out. Central after a great win last week over Port. And look at South and North.
Ricky O'Loughlin punched the ball into the forward line. South Adelaide 59, plays 28 the Roosters. Ball being put out across the front of goal. Good work by Holmes in his first game. Snaps around his body. Young fella's got his second. You've got to enjoy the way this young fella's gone about his first game in football. That's Port Adelaide 6. They're 6-6-42. Trailing the Eagles 9-4-58.
6 kicks, 3 handballs and 2 goals. What an impressive debut for this young fellow. We talked about kids as to whether they could find the ball, and there was a little bit of criticism about him going wide, but he is a kid who finds the footy, and 2 goals to half-time in your debut game is an extraordinary effort.
9-4-58. Port Adelaide 6-6-42. Backed again, 16-point margin. Ball comes out wide. McGuinness should take this. Cicarella does it again. He tries turning out of trouble. Couldn't quite get away from Carter. He picks the football up and kicks it up. Where's Evans? Came out hard. Couldn't quite keep it in the area. Ball be taken by the Iceman. Ball's forced out over the line.
Evans' mark just seems to be struggling a bit to me. He's got 1 point, but he just doesn't seem to be, and only the 1 kick, by the way, just doesn't seem to be attacking the ball as we're used to seeing him.
Well, the delivery hasn't been that good, David. Just maybe not sticking up for him, but it hasn't been good. That ball there falling short once again. Just bouncing past him. You just see the players there. Just plenty of smiles about, plenty of feeling out there.
Adam Pearce-Mark will never take a backward step. And I think he's had the better of Morgan so far.
Yes, I have to agree with you. Pull, take it out of the air, needs support. He does that down the Iceman and around his shoulder. Ah, Scotty Hand, lovely kick. We're back to a 12-point margin, fellas.
And I guess that's the big man creating an opportunity for a little man, isn't it? Poole just takes it out of the ruck.
He's brilliant at that, isn't he?
Hahn is good, and Holmes has been good. They're little fellas in their forward line this quarter. McGuinness has got 1. Holmes has got a couple. Scotty Hahn's just got the 1. So it's their little fellows that are creating a bit of a problem for the Eagles defenders.
The Mark Mickham won't be pleased with that. That's 2 late goals to the Magpies, which puts them within 10 points rather than 22. So he'll be displeased with that. Ball back in the centre. Brown's actually making a contest with Biggerlands, bringing it to ground, letting the little fellas get on there and have a chance at it. Umpire Slaven. 28 minutes into this second quarter at Woodville Oval. Biggerlands in front, rowed by McGuinness though. He gets the kick away to centre half forward. It's going to be Scotty Hahn. He's tackled. Gets his handball away. Andy Obbs with another one over the top to Morgan. Morgan around his body. That's not going to work. That's going to go out of bounds. Well, trapped by Evans though. Back door to Morgan. To Ashley. Go to the top of the square. Ricky O'Loughlin. Almost. Darryl Poole dives in on it. Holland right there with him. And we'll have a bounce down about 15 metres dead in front of the Port Adelaide goal, kicking to the northern end here at Woodville Oval.
You just sense, Tim, that Port Adelaide, they're flicking the ball around more. They're creating more opportunities. They've got the Eagles chasing jumpers. The Eagles are terriers at attacking you, but Port Adelaide are moving it around so quickly the Eagles can't get them.
Ball being punched away by Rogers. Over the boundary line. And they have another throw-in.
Good crowd here this afternoon at Woodville Oval, witnessing this contest. A 10-point margin between these two sides. The Eagles just hanging on, waiting for that half-time siren. Rogers over the top, thumps the ball forward. Just to slow things down a bit. You just sense, Dave, the momentum just swung the Magpies' way in the last 5 minutes.
Clearly, Port Adelaide will go into half-time very happy. There's Alan Stewart in the middle of the screen, the recruiting scout for Port Power.
The umpire's letting this ball flow. Biggerlands tries to thump it towards his area. Again, players over the top. Oh! Andrew Rogers gets his nose buried into the dirt.
I think Gary Treadway would be pretty happy, Mark. The momentum clearly with Port Adelaide. They go into half-time. The Eagles, I guess, just have a smell of Port Adelaide coming back, and that's how Port Adelaide like to have opposition sides.
Well, the Magpies have won the last centre breaks from goals they've kicked. Handball forward, Cicarella around the corner, heads up, the ball needs the favour. The free kicks come back here. What's happened? It's a Port player on the ground.
It's Obbs. And he got one. He got one in the contest. The umpire was right on the spot. So clearly there's a little bit of feeling out there. and this one will hurt the Eagles if he happens to put it through. He's only about 35 out, and we talk about precise kicks, Mark. His action is very straight.
Once again, another experienced campaigner is Andrew Obbs. Again, he's 34 as well. He puts it on its way. The umpire has not moved. And then puts up one finger. He can't believe it, Obbs. The umpire did not move.
That is frustrating as a player, Tim, isn't it? When you think you've kicked the goal, the umpire puts up one finger.
Shattering.
It would be a word.
I would have swore it was a goal, but it wasn't. We're back here. The action's live as we see Colville come down, and this is going to bring some rain. Is that high? Where's the jumper? There he is. McCarthy takes it high, wants to get rid of the football quickly. Goes up forward. The lead's good. Has it found enough legs on it? It has. Where is Brown? Brown's there, received the free kick.
Well, Jason James just took a undisciplined fly, if you like, because at that point, it was just all he was doing was giving away a free kick.
Well, David, what a quarter of football that was. We saw the Eagles on top early. The Magpies in the last 6 or 7 minutes, they've come back. And as we can see there, David, it's down now to a 9-point margin.
Well, by my reckoning, it's 11 points, Mark. But it's clear that Port Adelaide come back. I think at one stage the margin was out to 25 points. The Eagles kicked 4 early goals in that quarter. But Port Adelaide kicked, well, they kicked 5 of the last 5 kicked in the match to really get themselves in the quarter, to get themselves back in the match. Gary Treadray, who's feeling in today, for Stephen Williams is home in bed, and Tim Juniver tells us he's gravely ill. I hope he's not any worse than that, Tip.
No,
We'll be promoting him on Tuesday if he is.
No,
but
okay.
You've got to admire Port Adelaide's spirit. They are tough. They are hard at it. They were really gone for all money physically and emotionally. They were a spent force. The Eagles were on top and running clean. But then suddenly, a couple of quick goals to Shane Holmes, first gamer, Phil McGuinness, Darren Fraser and Scotty Hahn, and the game's turned right around. Port Adelaide will go in at half-time with great confidence, thinking that they can overpower the Eagles in the third quarter. It promises to be a great second half.
The Eagles 9-4-58, leading Port Adelaide 7-5-47. You're watching the SANFL on ABC Sport, live and exclusive.
Okay, 10 seconds. Coming back to a singular, David. Here we come.
Oh, SANFL footy's alive and well on ABC TV Sport, isn't it? Right throughout South Australia and the Northern Territory. I hope you're enjoying this one. 1 versus 3. I don't think we could have anticipated such a good contest. Stay with us throughout half-time. We're going to have a look at Malcolm Blight's shock resignation. We'll also have a look at Port and Sydney at Football Park tomorrow. Of course, the Crows are playing the Western Bulldogs at the MCG right now. And, of course, we'll take you back to 1960 when Port Adelaide and the Eagles met at Adelaide Oval in our footy flashback. For now, Tim, I guess the big story was Malcolm Blight and his shock resignation throughout the week.
Wasn't it Wednesday? 10:30, they said they were holding a press release. We didn't know what was going to happen. I saw that last week. That was the three-quarter time speech from Malcolm Blight when he had them all in a circle walking around the outside. So very interesting indeed. We're watching it very closely at the time, thinking, what's he saying? What's he doing? So you'd love to be a fly on the wall in some of the situations with Malcolm Blight.
Well, no doubt about it. Of all the things that Malcolm Blight's done and some of the strange things he's pulled to try and get his team up, I don't know that necessarily this week was a ploy. It certainly was a shock resignation.
.242 on this one. David, just a message from Dennis. This Kerry mark.
Yeah.
There's a 6-second upside at that.
Yeah, 6 seconds to talk over. Now, when we get down here, umpire Carey marks Fremantle St Kilda. There's 6 seconds where they have commentary, and then we've got to talk. Okay.
Can you tell them good choice of music?
and Black & Decker products from Harris Scarp and other leading retailers. Choose the new digital range in the cabinet located in the foyer of the football club. Albertson Bakery, from big pies, pasties, donuts, to the delicious range of gourmet cakes. We wish to acknowledge the following corporate sponsors. Boomerang Travel, for all your travel needs. Coca-Cola, always Coca-Cola. The South Australian Brewing Company, West End, South Australia's favourite beer. In addition, support of our diamond sponsors is recognised. Anthem Australia. For all your interstate football acting details, call Anthem Australia on 131 344. Free transport for all your local and interstate transport needs. TRL Hardy Wine Company, quality wines for the world, including Sir James Bruce, Chardonnay and Cabernet. Merlot, Banrock Station and Norwich Hill. Proud sponsors of the Eagles. Insurance Michael, the innovators, manufacturers of a range of quality white goods products available at leading electrical retail stores. Rebel Ford, Values Plus, award-winning commitment to being the best. Storm Funeral, for all your funeral requirements, speak to the family-owned Storm Funeral.
No, he can't be. He's going to leave the club, to be fair to him, in a healthier position than he came to it.
Oh, definitely when he came to the club, it was in a bit of disarray, both on and off the field, and I think Malcolm did both jobs very, very well. He got the off-field working well as a team and the on-field. So, look, 2 premierships, and who knows, they may even still make the finals now, David. You never know with that man.
Faint hopes. Mark Naley, I don't know that there's a more decorated player in Australian football than Malcolm Blight.
Yes, Dave, I was quite fortunate late in his career when he did come and coach Woodville. We did play a state game together in WA where we did win. I remember him taking an absolute screamer of a mark on the last line there. It was just fantastic to be a part of that. But he really has come to Adelaide and turned that side around, which were struggling a couple of seasons ago.
And, of course, statistically, Tim, a wonderful record.
Statistically, it'd be outstanding, wouldn't it? Look at the Woodville. 163 games for 359 goals. Best and fairest in 72 and 83. McGarry medal in 72. Leading goal kicker, 126 goals that season in 85. And 7 state games, so an outstanding record. Look at his VFL record. North Melbourne, 178 games, 444 goals. Best and fairest and Brownlow medal in 78. John Coleman medal, 102 goals in 82. Premiership player in 75 and 77 with Barassi. State games, 7 for Victoria, and I think captain as well. And All-Australian, 72 and 85. What a record.
Now, what about his coaching career in 1981? A disappointing year with North Melbourne, ended there prematurely.
Well, he basically said he wasn't ready. The club thrust upon him. He tried to do the right thing, but sort of towards the end of the year, he said, look, I'll have to hand the reins over. I'm not ready for it. And he went, come back to Woodville to play and captain coached and did particularly well. They're getting him to 3rd position in 86 and into the finals in 87. Geelong between 89 and 94 for 3 losing grand finals. Then when he came to Adelaide, just did an incredible job between 97 and 99 with 2 premierships, and we don't know where they'll finish this season.
Well, speculation is rife right around the country who will replace Malcolm Blight. I guess the Adelaide Crows have got as much money as they need to buy the right man, Tim.
I think they've got a shekel or 2, so there won't be any problems with the wage. But here's some options. Dennis Pagan, Kevin Sheedy, Stephen Kernahan, Darryl Hart, Craig Bradley and John Reid.
Now, let me throw this down while the graphic's up to Mark Naley. Mark, you put this up for it. We know that Dennis Pagan is still under contract. Kevin Sheedy comes out of contract at the end of the year.
Yes, those 2 players, we have to wait on those 2, but the last 2 there are maybe a little bit of surprise. They were my picks. I believe Craig Bradley has the credentials now to be able to go on as a coach, and I heard his current coach in David Parkin mention the other day about it, but he is a ready-made coach, and I don't think Adelaide Football Club need to look too far. They've got a couple of good coaches down there in Darryl Hart and also John Reid, who has coached at SANFL level and really has been a part of Blight's era as well.
Well, I guess, Tim, we look forward now to Port Power, and you'd be looking forward to them making the finals. I guess they got back in finals contention last week with a good win over Essendon.
It was a brilliant win, really. I think the win against Essendon's the one that's going to set them up. They've got to win this week against Sydney. They've got Fremantle over in Fremantle, so you really can do that.
But I thought they showed some great character. Nathan Eagleton going down last week. Wolf Parkinson syndrome.
Wasn't that frightening?
A heart murmur. Now, Would you bring a player back on when he's just collapsed for no reason?
Oh, look, nobody was to know exactly what was wrong with Nathan, and the doctors are excellent at Port Adelaide. I've worked with them, and I tell you what, they would never have put him at risk if they had known that. So, Nathan, we just hope that he makes a quick recovery for both himself and his family.
Now, Michael Parsons, Port Adelaide now, with plenty of home games to come, have given themselves a real shot at staying in the final race.
Yes, David, it was pivotal, wasn't it, that win against Essendon, to get a good win against a team that's on top of the ladder, and they really are now set up for a run home. I think there's only 2 more road games to go after this weekend, and, you know, if they can just string a couple of those together, they could really go anywhere from here on in.
And Mark Naley, I don't believe Port Adelaide have beaten the Sydney Swans at Football Park.
No, not so far, David, but as we just said, I mean, they're in good form. Also saying that I reckon the Port Power.
Fair enough. So what about you, Tim? It's going to be a tough one, isn't it? Sydney at Football Park. The Power on an emotional high. Sydney, however, they're going along reasonably well this time of the year.
Speaking to Troy Luff during the week from Sydney, they're very upset that Port Power beat them in the first round. They're really dirty on that one, and they want to pay them back this week. But Port Adelaide, for mine, just that win against Essendon and to kick on like they did and win by 6 goals, I just really think that they're going to dominate Sydney tomorrow, and I just think be too quick for them. As
we go to the Port Power lineup, they look pretty strong from goal to goal. French, Treadray, Kingsley, Mead and Paxman is one of the toughest lines in the competition.
Mead and Paxman so important to that defence, aren't they? They are the real backbone there. You get your Wilsons, Bonds and all that alongside them. Steinburner's been great for him in a result. Francis, what about his season? He's going to be a favourite for the Brownlow.
Do you think he is?
Well, I'm going to put him in there anyway. Kingsley's had a great year as well in the middle. Schofield really has worked his way back in the side, didn't he, with some couple of excellent efforts for Centrals and worked his way back in the side.
Michael Parsons is a former Sydney player. You must like the look of this lineup, Michael.
Yeah, they really have put themselves in the danger zone, though, haven't they? But it's always refreshing to have Tony Lockett standing in front of the big sticks. What a player. Just kicked the records of goals this year, and he's still got a lot more to come. But they are really starting to get some structure. Creswell in the middle just finds so much of the ball, and Duckley down back really has been a plug for them. He plays some great football, very defensive in his attitude and the way he goes about a football. But I think Sydney tomorrow, with the power from the emotion that's been in Adelaide this week and the power starting to get on a roll, I think it'll be a real struggle for the Swans to get up.
OK, so you're going for the Power. Mark Naley's going for the Power. What about you, Tim? You going to stick with the home team?
Yeah, I'm going for the Power. And just on Tony Lockett, I reckon he's struggled since he kicked the record. I don't reckon he's gone that well. So hopefully he continues that form tomorrow.
Rodney Eade said he's playing a different role. He's looking at getting more contributors. Is that
yeah. No, he's contributors when he kicks 10. That's when he's contributing.
All right, cast your mind back a week, Tim, if you can, for us, just for a moment. It's Fremantle and St Kilda. It's in Western Australia. And I guess strange things happen in football, but nothing has happened like this in a century of football. Well, that is unbelievable, Tim, isn't it?
Unbelievable stuff. Have a look at this. The only thing I was disappointed is he didn't take it in the hands. Because you take it in the hands, you can move it on quicker. Took a big chest mark. Undisciplined Peter Carey.
Now, if he'd have been in front of you, would you have tackled him?
Oh, look, to tell you the truth, I mean, I can laugh about it here, but if I was a player behind him like Norris, I'd have gone off my nut at him. I would have grabbed it and demanded that the ball come to me. I would not have accepted a bounce.
Now, the rule is, though, if the ball hits an umpire, it's a bounce, isn't it?
Well, I'm not happy with that rule.
I thought it was a lighter moment, though. It depends how you take it. Some people saw it as very serious. Other people said, well, it's just a light moment.
Well, for me, it's a light moment because I wasn't playing, so I'm happy with that. But Peter Carey, well done your 300th game as well.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. That was last night, of course, at the MCG. He umpired his 300th. He might have been a little bit of luck just to get there, by the way. I thought maybe a suspension might have been in order. Well, as we do from time to time, we introduce you to some of the supporters and spectators and support staff around clubs. Today, we introduce you to Jackie Lane and Margaret Hoover, two of the Eagles' very best.
Good run, 3-8.
Special draw this afternoon for one of our junior supporter members.
Have you got the third key plate?
And the winning ticket is in the name of Carly Alton, age 12. So, Carly, if you guys go to the booth in front of the Barry John grandstand, you can select your...
Beautifully done.
Walk down, it takes me 5 minutes.
Don't forget Eagles Bingo. Eagles, the friendly one here at Adelaide, Mondays at 7:30 p.m. and Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays at 12. 4 sessions a week of bingo right here at the Eagles Club. Just repeating the winning ticket numbers for our juniors raffle here this afternoon. First prize is a pink ticket, T93. Second prize, an orange ticket, B for Victor 81. And third prize, an orange ticket, B63. The holders of those tickets should present their stuffs to the personnel in the booth in the base of the Barry Jarman Grandstand. And the special Eagles Junior Supporters winner today is
30
Allen,
seconds.
age 12. Congratulations.
Dave. 5 seconds. Here we go.
Oh, I can't believe Jackie and Margaret were ever speechless, Tim. Great supporters of the club.
Great supporters, and the way they just stick at it through thick and thin. I thought their definition of a supporter was superb.
Yeah, and you've got a few of them down at Port Adelaide as well.
There is the odd one or two, I think, yeah.
Well, I think they were around when our footy flashback took place. Today we take you back to 1960. It's Adelaide Oval, and it's the Eagles and Port Adelaide.
Good. Runs 2,
Looking forward to this.
3.
Highlights are out. Get that, David? Highlights are out.
Yep, highlights are out. Actually, this is my commentary. I didn't realise I was doing it way back then.
Wow. It's
Up
Jack, 14.
Yep. I see Rossi has them. I give him a few of these, and he loves them. They never had this in their day. They never had VCRs. This went to telly on a replay, and that was it. Never seen again. Gibson, Reggie Gibson, Freddie Bills. Have a look. Put the feet up.
Ron Alloway.
They're a great jumper, weren't they?
Oh, I love that Guernsey.
No, I did too.
Best one.
I think so, by a long way.
Brian Luke.
Yep.
Bloody hell.
Needs some work on his kicking action. Johnny Graham. Motley, have a look at him.
Free.
Motts.
He was captain coach that year.
You reckon they could win the Eagles, right?
One minute.
So we go straight to the scoreboard.
The final quarter in the AFL match between Crows and Bulldogs.
You want to go straight to the scoreboard, mate?
Well, that's where we go, and if the plays are out,
Ken Dennis. David's just inquiring you to go straight to the scoreboard up the end of
is
this.
that what we're doing?
Have to come to you.
No, it has to come to us. That's right, but then to the scoreboard.
Schumann. Bob Schumann. Jeez, Bob Davey. That's Andy Obstad.
Yep.
10 seconds,
Peter Obst.
David. Here we come. 5 seconds.
Port Adelaide win again, Tim.
How unbelievable was that footage? I loved it.
Do you like
Great
some of those
stuff.
names?
Oh,
Head,
yeah.
Head,
And Rob's
Bills.
father, Peter Obbs playing?
Peter Obbs was there.
Saw Bob Shearman in there.
Yes.
Captaining West
Sadly
Torrens.
not with us anymore, and Jeff Motley.
As well, yeah. He was captain coach that year in 1960.
Well, there you go. Well, in just a few years' time, I guess we'll be going back and playing the 1994 Grand Final, will we?
Hopefully not 30 years down the track.
It might be, as we come back live to this match on the scoreboard at half-time. The Eagles 9-4, Port Adelaide 7-7.
Tight contest, isn't it? Port Adelaide got 2 late goals, which I don't think they would have been happy with. Goal scorers for the Eagles. Pesh with 4, then singles to Floriani, Pearce, Darzanos, McCarthy and Biglands. Port Adelaide, Fraser and Holmes, 2 apiece. Arne McGuinness and Paul 1 each.
Holmes has been very good as a rookie, hasn't he?
Excellent first game. He'd be very, very proud of himself, and hopefully he can just keep it going this quarter for himself.
And statistically, Mark Nayley, Port Adelaide have more of the ball.
Yeah, you're right there, David. They've had 42 more possessions up to half-time, which is, to me, doesn't really indicate that the Magpies, I mean, they should be in front. Simple as that. They've had more of the football, but they're just not using it as they normally do, so direct and so sort of at the goal square. But we see there the Magpies with 105 kicks compared to the Eagles with 82, and just come down to the marks area. Well, they're still on top in that department. Fraser favouring the Magpies as well, so it's going their way. Now the big difference is the hit-outs. Big ones there, 28 as compared to when Spanigal was on, and then Brown only with 11 there. Centre square breaks just dominated by the Eagles side, 12 as compared to the Port Adelaide 4. Inside 50, well, 29 plays 27, so there's not much in that.
And in other matches around town, it's Elizabeth Oval. The Bulldogs are 3-7, West Adelaide are 9-3.
Well, that's a big difference, isn't it? West Adelaide's dominating there. South Adelaide 10-6, leading North 6-4. 26-point margin at half-time, and you'd have to say that there is a strong breeze down at the Noarlunga Oval.
Perhaps you would...
Understatement, isn't it?
The idyllic... I don't think there's any breeze at all. I think you'll just find it's a game of 2 halves. There's no breeze here at Woodville Oval.
It's beautiful down here, isn't it? Great conditions. If you've got the chance, you live close, get on down here to Woodville Oval. You'll enjoy a great second half of football. If you can't, sit in your lounge rooms and enjoy the ABC's coverage.
And there's not much of a breeze at all, Tim.
Look at that.
As we go down to Michael Parsons on the boundary.
Yeah, David, I'll take exception to your last comment. There is a bit of breeze down here, actually. I think that windsock we were looking at before is strategically positioned in the wind shuttle of the scoreboard there. But I'd say there's a couple of goal breeze going down the ground, and again, that's a strong wind warning that's out. If that blows into the second half, it might make things very tough for Torrens, who would go into it in the last quarter.
Hugh Ruckman and Rovers stick together, stay with us. It's an 11-point ball game here at Woodville Oval. The Eagles and Port Adelaide. Your commentator is Mark Nayley with Tim Ginniver.
Yes, thank you, David. Well, it looks like 58 and 49. Doesn't quite add up to 11 points in my scoring. We see the first kick favouring the Eagles. Goes to Pesh. Pesh has a chance now. We kicked 4 goals in that first half of football. 1 in the first, 3 in the second. Heads to the top of the square. Wiggins is at the back. It goes over the top of the pack and through for another behind. So the first score to the Eagles after half-time. It's a behind. Now it's a 10-point margin. 59 plays 49. Good build-up again, Tim, by the Eagles, just going forward there. This formed the huddle to bring this ball back out. Again, we've got Pesh on one side, Darzanos on the other. Good lead out there by Polton. He's got time on his side now to take this. Power players running down in numbers across to Ashley. He'll be tackled. Couldn't be held by the Ruckman and Biglands. He's around his body. Back there going hard with it was Brown. Couldn't take it. Good mark by McCarthy. Kick up forward again. Coming across. Just floating there again is Filippo. Getting his hands on the football since Mead moved up forward. Ugrin again. He hits the top of the square. Over the back. Good leap. Back there was Sheen. Couldn't take the footy. It's brought back again. Not quite far enough. Just trying to pick that player. I think it was Pesh again. It was. He's in everything this afternoon.
Well, that's his first miss, Mark. He's kicked 4 goals, 1. 4 goals, 2, correction. 2 points this quarter.
Started both quarters very quickly, the Eagles, and they're doing it again in this quarter. Clayton brings the ball out of full-back with a quick kick. Looking for Polton. They're good mates. Ashley gets a kick out of the pack. Well done. Carter, difficult ball to handle. Tries to socket her off the deck. Makes 2 mistakes and allows the Eagles in. Ugrinick to clear. Kicks a high ball up towards centre-half forward. In front is Wiggins. Doesn't quite get it on the second grab. Hitting the ground, and Ashley on top of the ball now. will force a bounce. That's pretty well done. That was James in front there for the Eagles. Of a bounce down, 30 metres in front of the Eagles' goals. They're up by 11 points over the Magpies, 60 plays 49. Brown gets the tap down towards McGuinness. He gets another hand to it to Fraser. Back on the 1-2 to McGuinness. McGuinness up to the half-back flank. McCarthy. Too good for Carter, one-on-one on this occasion. Stabs a pass in, looking for James. Goes over the top of him. Sheehan drops it. Tregenza gets the crumbs. Clears to the wing position. One-on-one. Hahn does well to get away from Whelan. Obbs nearly got hold of it. Andrew Rogers at ground level's good. Gets it back to Whelan. Whelan on his left foot. Comes into centre forward and Damien Brown drops back. Tries to get a free kick after he dropped the grab he should have taken. Clayton tries to clear. The ball has been pinned for holding the ball. Hello.
Well, the Eagles were hard at it, but I was just about to say that Brown dropping back into the hole is exactly what Port Adelaide haven't had much. But if he'd taken that mark, the hunt's over, isn't it? Clayton just ran into a wall, claimed by, Filippo.
Was that quick?
It was.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
He didn't have much opportunity to get rid of it, but the umpire was down there. He had good vision of that tackle.
The test is whether he had any prior opportunity, Mark.
Michael Filippo coming in 30 metres out, virtually dead in front. Kick looks good off the boot. I think that's going to be his first. Michael Filippo's first. The Eagles 10th. They move on to 10-6, 66. Leading Port Adelaide 7-7-49, a 21-point margin. And that's a good start to a quarter again by the Eagles.
Game of inches. Brown takes this mark. It's all over Red Rover. He might have even been able to pick up a soft free kick, but Clayton just ran in and Filippo got him. I think the umpire said he went to handball it, just dribbled out. It was pretty touch and go. You've really got to question that.
Count yourself unlucky, Mark Clayton, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
1 goal, 1 to Michael Filippo this afternoon. The score's here, 66 plays 49. The Eagles in front. Again, Nicholas gets the handball out, heads out towards Darzanos. A foot race between Darzanos and Polton. Really, no player really wanted to hold of that, but down ground level, Michael Parsons may update us with the Eagles bench.
Yes, and you see sitting there Dylan Kluzak just getting a rub down with a bit of a sore back, and Kroll, they'll sit down to start the quarter.
Bit of a push there by the captain, and Rogers needs support. He has the running players inside. It's a good kick up. Chance again for Wiggins playing in front. That's where he had to play. Coming across was James. The handball's over the top to Colville. Colville won't miss from there. That's his first major for the afternoon.
The thing you like about Gavin Colville is he copped a terrible belting. Sheehan got him in the first 5 minutes of the game. He spent some time on the bench. When he comes from the wing. And he just keeps running here, and courage comes in two forms. One, you can get to the contest, or you can just keep running and running hard, and that's what Colville does. He's not even near the contest as the ball's coming in, but he makes 30 metres to get right under the ball and finishes off.
Haven't they been good at the boundary throw-ins and setups with the way they've worked the ball away, the Eagles?
I guess that's Mark Bigland's influence, isn't it?
Good point. Rep Biglands versus Brown. Biglands clearing punch. Matty Ashley gets hold of the ball, ducks his head, and I'll tell you what, he was very lucky to get away with that one.
You just struggle, don't you? You see a soft free kick before, and that one where he ducks and he's gone for all money, the umpire falls for it.
Well, Lees clears the ball up to the wing position where Andrew Obbs has it. Marks the ball easily. Looks like his father Peter we saw in the history books in a minute ago. Ball up to centre half forward. Evans tries to clear it. Looks like he's been moved up the ground. We'll have a look at that. Whelan on the Floriani, slams on his boot to the centre of the ground at Woodville Oval. Lees is going to be first to attack it, gets a bad bounce, ends up with Carter though. Carter slips over, back on his feet. Now we'll come to the wing position, looking for Lees, but nowhere near him. In the end, it was kicking on the back foot, and it was fairly ugly. Down on ground level, we've got Michael Parsons.
Yes, and the Port Adelaide bench, you see Vines, big Spanish girl, sitting down after he was beaten badly in the first quarter by Biglands as he gets his hands on the ball again. And also Greg Dempsey is sitting down to start the quarter.
I guess, Tim, the reason that Spanagle's on the bench is not only was he beaten in ruck, he wasn't jumping back into the hole in the Eagles forward line. So he wasn't a defensive option and he wasn't winning the ruck, so they just had to give him a break.
Yeah, fair call.
He works hard, Biglands. Just saw him there. He tries to get over top of Brown. The umpire will have to pay. He's paid holding the man. Well,
I thought that one was fair enough.
There, but it's kicked up again. Paul one hand, gets his hands to it once, pierces across, and this may favour the Magpies. Oh, finger tipper by Floriani. He's been paid the mark.
Well, he paid it himself. I don't think anyone blew a whistle. The umpires all stopped when Floriani got up.
It went about 10 metres.
Blew a whistle.
Threw it out wide as the running Pierce. There's a Whelan. It's Whelan coming inside. No Magpie player around. Heads home. Carter will take this. It's not. Player drifting back, number 16, and Sheehan. Sheehan across to Fegan. Fegan goes wide, looking for Ops. Good work there by Rogers. Just get a hand to the football and pushed it out over the line. Ops is not happy.
He was over the shoulder, but the umpires aren't going to play a soft one like that, are they?
Well, they did. And are they matched up for their playing ability or their age, those two?
Well, it's a great matchup any way you look at it.
Obst over the back, does it so well. Gets quick hands to McGuinness. Nice slick handball to Fraser. Fraser up to the wing position. Over the back was, it looked like Holmes trying to get a fist to it. Whelan in there for the Eagles. Scotty Hahn goes in hard as usual. Paul does it so well, gets a clearing handball, allows Holmes to get away with a kick, gets it up to Evans. Evans has got to do that more. He's a quick leader of 5 yards, too quick for Hall. He's going to play on quickly. Hall slips over, Evans straightens up, got an opportunity to kick a goal here. And I think he has. Ricky O'Loughlin likes it. It's a goal. I reckon that might be Evans' first goal. It is.
Second kick.
But a much needed one for the Magpies. They move on to 8-7-55, trailing the Eagles 11-6-72.
If Port Adelaide are going to leave Evans on Hall, that's the way he has to play him. Get out in the front on a lead, take the mark and then play on and run Hall off his feet. Evans has, you've got to say, superior pace. Hall is very good over the first 5 metres, but if Evans plays in that fashion, he can get on top.
55 plays 72. The Eagles still hanging on to that lead. Wiggins has been moved in the ruck, giving Biglands a rest up forward. So Micken really just saving his number 1 ruckman for that big last quarter that's no doubt going to appear. Coming forward again, Phillippo will charge as he does that. Well tackled there by Ashley. And good umpiring. Ashley's hurt himself in that tackle. They've just taken one a little bit high. Running and pushing and shoving. Wiggles again. McGuinness throws the ball out to Ashley. Ashley is taken by Colville. Colville trying to break the tackle, bring the player to the ground. Just couldn't quite get there. Nearly 10 minutes into this third quarter. The Eagles have kicked a couple of goals. The Magpies have responded with one from Evans. Shirley comes up with the football. Kicks it out wide. Gives Phillippo a chance at this. He's back. Leesmilly takes it. Comes out wide now. Pesh, what can he do with it? It's not sitting up for him. At the back there it's Clayton. Tregenza takes it. Goes over the top. McCarthy can't quite get his hands to it. And the mark's taken by Carter.
Pesh is gone.
Quick hands to Sheehan. Sheehan over the top. Well, it is his first game. Fraser over the top to Paul. Paul over again to Morgan. They found some space in their forward line, the Magpies. Morgan, a great kick for goal. It's going to hit the square. It's not going to make the distance. Ricky O'Loughlin. Good mark, pushing back. He's looking to give off here because he has not got any daylight to kick through. Umpire's got him on the tightest of angles, which is fair enough from where he took the grab. So Ricky O'Loughlin with 11 possessions today, 7 kicks. Chips out, finds McGuinness. He was looking for that.
Well, Sicolella was trying to cut it off. He was in the hole. He did the right thing. McCarthy had 2 players. He went with one, and McGuinness just dropped into the hole. It was well worked out by the Port Adelaide forwards. And Sicolella was just caught in no man's land.
So McGuinness, a shot from 25 metres out. He's kicked 1 today. He's going for his 2nd. Normally a good kick for goal, McGuinness. But this one's pushed right across the front. Ricky O'Loughlin again.
I was going to say he's an instinctive snap, but he's not always a reliable set shot, is he?
Kicking into the teeth of the breeze there. Be disappointed with that because it missed everything. Gone out of bounds. We'll have a throw in, left forward pocket. Magpies in attack. And they trail by 18 points at the moment. Punch by Fruin. Rogers coming through for the Eagles. Good work, good hands. Cleared it well, up to the wing position. The Eagles come. Brown nearly takes a fingertipper while lying on the ground. Clayton breaks a tackle. Hands out to Tregenza. Tregenza with a wobbly old kick. May hit a target, doesn't. Fruin cut it off beautifully for the Eagles. Clears now. It's a chance for the Eagles on the back play. Darzanos, he's quick. Look at Polton run him down. He gets a leg away, though, up towards James. James gets underneath the ball a fair bit today. Mistake by Feagit. He's going to have time to clear it and get it up to the half-back flank position where Clayton's got a lot of time, but he want to pick it up soon. Does. Little chip over the top, finds McGuinness.
Tell you what we haven't seen Port Adelaide do today is the switch in direction, which they're famous for. They haven't done it at all today.
In there again, working hard is Rogers. Ground level there was Ashley. Coming through as the Iceman. Gets the ball forward. Oh, great desperation shown by both sides.
What about Floriani at the bottom of that pack? You talk about tough players. He's one of the toughest. In other matches this afternoon, Central 26, West 77. That one's a foregone conclusion. And South, well, they've got the chocolates over North, haven't they? Oof.
A couple of heavy results.
72-55, 13-minute mark into the third quarter. Goes out wide for Jared Polton. Polton quickly gets the ball moving to Tregenza.
Here's the switch, Mark. Switch of play.
Handballs inside. Running through hard there was Sheehan. Sheehan heads up towards centre half forward. Oh, 1-2. Has it been paid? It has.
What a debut.
No, he had more purchase on that than anyone else. 2 bites of the cherry. Clearly that was a mark.
Again, we see another turnover. Costly turnover inside 50. McCarthy heads towards Ugrinik. Ugrinik will chip the ball out wide. He has Whelan. Now Whelan needs movement. He's got Biglands coming out from the full forward line. He needs to stretch it this to Beck Belly, and then he gets to it. Saves the ball in the area. Coming through hard was Feagit. Feagit, they'll chip the ball up looking for Carter. Unfortunately, couldn't keep the ball in. It's out of bounds on the full.
It's an interesting matchup, isn't it? Feagit on Biglands. Feagit runs hard, but can play tall.
He's done all right so far. Whelan pumping the ball into that forward line. Lees has destroyed him today at centre-half back. Clayton the first to crumb. Looks for a target, goes long on his left foot. He's got good skills. Rogers versus Obst. Nearly a one-handed Obst. Brown smashes it through. Well taken by Hahn. Gets it out to the running Tregenza on his wing. He's coming up towards Poole. Gets front position. Fights with Fruin. Ball comes to the ground. Is that Colville with his head over the football? Pushed in the back.
Oh, listen to the crowd.
Gavin Colville will take the free kick. Umpire Andrew Vickers, correct decision on this occasion. Just a little bit clumsy with the tackle, Fraser. Colville up to the wing position. Carter with a hand in there. Deflects it away from Rogers. Picks up the crumbs now. Rogers a good tackler. Gets right around the hips. Andy Obb sees it out. Does it so well.
Great experience. Carter headed to the boundary line. Rogers just zeroed in on him. Went for the boundary line. Obbs, knowing that he couldn't take clean purchase, just flicked it across the line.
David, just correct me if I'm wrong, but I reckon there's more people coming to this ground since half-time.
Well, I did ask him to at half-time, so...
Well, you needed supporters
responded.
Tim?
Well, it's getting noisy here. The crowd's getting restless. I like it. Some good footy being played here as Biglands tried to clear it. Nearly tripping over his own feet was Whelan. Too much time. Back on his left foot, has a snap at goal and gets a point for the Eagles. They'll move on to 11-7-73, leading the Magpies 8-7-55.
45 was Matty Whelan, and you look at him, he's only 19. He just created a little bit of space for himself, a little bit of time. The thought process was very, very good, and on the left foot, well, you just... A goal like that really is an important one. There's a blood rule. Floriani's being sent off, which is what the delay is. Just on the elbow, Tim. Might go off to sharpen them up.
Doesn't look too serious, does it? He'll come back on. It's a good player, Floriani. I really like the way he goes at his footy.
Spent some time late last year in the reserves and even early this year. But when he came back, it coincided with the Eagles' return to form, and you can see why. He does the in and under stuff, the hard stuff, and the Eagles link up with Ugrinik and Darzanos running off him. And you need a player. It used to be Zilla. Zilla used to feed it out to the running players going past. Now it seems to be Floriani who plays that role, as does Pearce.
Mark Clayton just waits now to bring the football back in. He's got a running player out wide, Nigel Feagit. Feagit will take this. Needs movement. Lees is there on the swing. Also Carter has kept running. Polton comes inside. He takes it. Looks to give the handball to Feagit. Now we'll chip on to the running player. So a little bit loose there. I have to agree with you, David. Nicholas Pesh has just about run out of legs.
Yeah, I think he's gone. Look, you've either got to put him right back in a pocket, but Polton's running down the field and bringing him with him, which is great footy savvy by Polton, as he's running Pesh off his feet. But the damage has been done. Pesh has already kicked 4.
Throw in centre wing, grandstand side here at Woodville Oval. Colville tries to crash through a couple of tackles. McGuinness, Poole and Hahn take him to the ground as they try to get back up on their feet. Good contest we have here today.
Interesting, Pesci's just swapped himself over. He's gone on to Clayton, and he's given Darzanos over to Bolton. Just a little bit of experience from the vice-captain.
Also, I think Port would be happy with that too. The matchup of Bolton and Darzanos pace-wise is a good one. Poole does it so well out of the ruck contest. Doesn't get a handball away cleanly. Tregenza does well to get the ball though. Snaps it on his left foot. High 1.5 forward flank. People pushing against one another, jostling for position. Poole on his left foot. He looked like a rover, the big man. Gets it out towards Fruin. Nearly grabbed hold of it. Did well at centre half back. He's played well too, David.
Tim, I'm a Darryl Poole fan.
Yep.
Right, let me state that. But today, I don't think I've seen him take a vigorous body and really open up some holes for the little fellas.
Oh, I reckon he's got a couple of very good clearing handballs which have resulted in goals.
Yeah, but you don't look for big fellas to give you handballs, do you?
Well,
that's great. Isn't that terrific? That is athletic.
Been very good at the forward line.
25 metres.
Well, he deserves everything because that was as athletic as they come. Nowhere near the contest. He just launched himself, and unfortunately we don't have a side camera on this, but if you did, you'd see him come about 2.5 metres forward to complete the mark. It was just terribly athletic.
Can't miss from here. Ricky O'Loughlin will goal. Gets the Magpies within 12 points. That's his first goal. They move on to 9-7. 61 trailing the Eagles, 11-7, 73, 12-point margin. They're starting to make another surge. Hahn, quick kick out of the pack. And you called it, David.
Did you see the distance that he took in the leap?
It's a good effort. It was just a bit silly by Holland afterwards, Mark.
Look, I still think he's a bit fat. He's big. And I mean that.
He actually has trimmed down,
yeah,
David.
but I mean, you trim him down another 4 or 5 kilos, and he is
expression about glass houses. I'm
oh,
trying
now don't be doing that. You want to comment about this bloke, or do you want to be smart? The comment is, when he thins down a bit more, he's going to be unbelievable, because his athleticism there, carrying those extra 4 or 5 kilos, he's going to be awesome when he gets himself fully fit.
11-7 plays 9-7. 12-point ball game here at Woodville Oval. The ball's down. Wiggins up against Darryl Poole. Wiggins is timed a little bit better. Gets it out to Ciccarello. Round again as Floriani's come back on. Good kick. Great mark there by Filippo.
It's the first time he's beaten Lees, by the way, one-on-one.
Cool.
Filippo. The kick's long and strong. It heads up towards forward. Good work there by Poole. Great pick-up. The kick wasn't good. McCarthy has been pretty good this afternoon. The handball there wasn't. Tregenza nearly takes it. Running hard, he'll be taken on there. 32 coming through is James in this third quarter. The thump back by Ciccarello will only go as far as Clayton. Clayton kicks high. Fraser out in front should take this, he does. Good mark. On top of him was Colville. Now the Magpies have numbers once again. Ops is there. He'll chip the ball out again to the running Ashley. Ashley should take this and keep moving. He slips over. Gets up, gets back. Looks for O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin goes once, goes twice. Still looking for a bit of movement. Goes for the third time. The kick wasn't good. Colville goes back with great courage. The mark wasn't paid. Didn't take it. Goes back to Hall. Hall comes out to Pearce.
Opportunity to clear from now. They've got plenty of space in front of Pearce. He's looking for options. He's a good player, Pearce. Comes too long, though, for Darzanos. Clears the heads of him and Polton. Poole now gives off to Polton. On his left foot. Little chip pass. Finds Morgan, centre wing. Right in front of the ABC commentary team. Kicks long to centre half forward. Brown gets a little nudge from Fruin legally. Good clearing handball by McCarthy. Put Pearce under the pump, though. Carter pushes off with strength. Slips over, back on his left, squeezes it out. Hahn, Fraser gets it. Tries to get it on his left foot with a wobbly old kick, and he'll get it out of bounds in front of the other grandstand here at Woodville. Left forward pocket, Magpies in attack.
I was just about to say, Tim, that the Eagles have lost their intensity, and then in 30 seconds they seem to have just whipped it into a frenzy and got it back. But the ball is coming too easily out of the Eagles' forward line. That's been the change in direction, the flow of this game.
This is going to be a great last quarter of football. Stay tuned. It's top of the table, Magpies playing the third side on the Eagles. The Eagles really taking it up to 11-7 plays 9-7, a 12-point margin. We played 22 minutes into this third quarter. Brown is going to be up against Fruin. Flipping the ball out there again. Ugritic, the runner, will take it. He runs off. Filippo, Lees. Great work by Lees to come from behind. Couldn't take the mark. Now he tries to knock the ball out. Again, we see good umpiring, giving the player time to get the ball out. Darzanos comes around. He's got a player in Wiggins loose. Can he get to him? Great work by Big Paul. Didn't clear the contest. Then goes again for a second error. Darryl Paul. Oh,
Brilliant.
Sensational work.
Brilliant.
It's Bill 3. Tregenzo's a chance now for him to have a run. Working hard out there was James trying to get the area. Oh, good mark again, going back. 33, Robert Shirley.
Well, I hope David Mackay was looking at Paul then, because he was crashing in, opening up packs. Something he accused him of not doing today. Floriani's got the ball in the centre of the ground for the Eagles. 12-point margin, 22.5 minutes into this quarter. Kicks long, Fegan from behind, punches. Ball's come to deck. Pesh trying to get down there, but he does look shot, doesn't he? McCarthy, head over the footy, slips it to Pesh, very cleverly done. And Clayton gets hold of him and forces him out. We'll have a look at the updates from around the grounds.
Yeah, we see out at Elizabeth Oval, we see Central's 27. West Adelaide having a great game out there on 95. Down at Old Noongar well, Tim.
Look at that. South Adelaide 107 place, the Roosters 41. McGuinness, left foot, snap, gets it to Brown. Brown takes a good grab. He's looking up, he's got Carter loose, he's going to go wider still, switch it to Lees. Lees going to have to show courage, run against Shirley, he does that. Both players, superb commitment. It's been the hallmark of this game. Ugritic clears with a mighty kick to the square, but Sheehan back and back is the only one that's ever going to mark that. Sheehan for the Magpies. Gets it out to this right back pocket for the Magpies where he finds Polton. Lees takes a one-handed Specky. I think he made that harder than what it was. But Brian forever throwing out the theatrics. Takes a mark at half-back flank.
7 kicks, 2 handballs, 9 possessions to Brian Lees. Really has had a great tussle. Had a couple of opponents this afternoon. Started with Crowell. He's had Filippo on him since about midway through that second quarter. Kick comes inboard to Pearce. He has time on his side now. Got McCarthy out wider. He wishes to use him. He doesn't. Sets it up now beautifully. He's going back hard. The pack forms and flies. One there with Biglands. Wiggins gives it out to Ugritic. You won't catch this player. Outside 50. Heads home with a big long bomb. Darzanos just circle it through. He has. Has it been touched? I think it has. On the line.
Mark Filippo's gone in the shoulder. And bad news for the Eagles. He's important to them. He's tough and he's another big option. But Biglands came crashing over the top, collected the knee into the left shoulder, and his shoulder is gone. That's a very bad news story for the Eagles.
Let's hope it's not too serious.
Well, I can tell you this much about the Filippos. When they go down with pain, something's died. Because little cracks and sprains don't worry the Filippo family at all. They are as tough as nails. That one will be serious.
The advantage has been paid to Pearce. Pearce goes over the top to Kluzak. He's just come on. Will he kick a goal? I think he will. It's home. Matthew Kluzak brings up, I think it's his first major for the afternoon.
Fantastic, isn't it? You've just got Pearce running out of legs, but you've got a bloke like Kluzak who can come off the bench. He struggled at full forward early. He was leading wide. He's still wide here, but Pearce was good enough to get the ball to him. And one of the things about Kluzak, when he gets the ball, there are very few better finishes. He's just a beautiful kick, nicely balanced. And blood on that jumper. He might have to come off the blood rule, by the way, Kluzak. But here's a view, Tim. Bang. Now, what do you do there? That's just one of those unfortunate incidents in football. It's no one's fault. Filippo showed great courage, and Biglands had to go.
Floriani tries to get the ball out of the centre. No free paid. Ends up with McGuinness. McGuinness clears up towards centre half forward. One-on-one battle, Whelan. Great mark. Great mark in front of Hahn.
You think about the toughness of the Eagles' defence. Now, that's the only thing I've seen about him I don't like. Because before that, I would have called him the Eagles' no-nonsense defender.
And he just showed the football. Colville now clears out of defence for the Eagles. Heads up towards centre forward, finds McCarthy. It's been a good marking option for the Eagles today.
I think he was put onto Carter to curb Carter's first quarter brilliance. And in fact, McCarthy's got on top.
Well, he's got it down towards Kluzak, right at his feet though, and he couldn't take that mark. Ball's been run over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in.
It was interesting, Tim, because McCarthy was doing nothing in the first quarter, and Carter was dominating for Port Magpies. So Mark Micken brings McCarthy onto him. and suddenly you can turn a negative into a positive.
Wiggins down to Pesh. Wiggins knocks the ball again. Looks like Cicarella. Quick hands inside to McCarthy. McCarthy spots the player out. Beautiful kick. Mark taken by Darzanos.
And you think about AFL prospects, Mark. This fellow's as quick as they come, and he's still only young. He's just turned 20. He's quick off the mark. He's a long strider, and he's an accurate kick. There was a question mark about his courage a few weeks ago. He spent some time on the bench, but it hasn't been lacking today. He's gone hard at every ball.
Darzanos on the 15-metre line, puts the high ball, hasn't got the accuracy. I think it might have. Another major to the Eagles. That's Darzanos' first. Second back.
Yes, but it was savvy, wasn't it? You look at the way the Eagles set this up. Cicarella's got the ball, holds it again, finds an option. McCarthy with a clear head knew that the ball had to go to the corridor, and Darzanos was sitting there and just let out and presented himself. And I guess if you're in the right position and the team rules are being played, those sorts of plays really just become second nature. You just know where the ball's going.
Ball back in the centre. Up goes Brown against Wiggins. Wiggins to Fraser. Fraser got his hand over the football. Tries to get it clear to McGuinness. McGuinness as well. Jurgenek in there. You see the shadows just starting to come across Woodville Oval here as we get set for a great last quarter.
Tim, you're quite right. The crowd has increased.
They have, haven't they? They've come out. They knew it was a good game. As we say, you can't get here to watch it. Watch it on ABC. Out comes Phil McGuinness. Clearing kick. Up to centre half forward. Through and onto the ball first for the Eagles. Switching handball. That ends a great quarter for the Eagles. They'll be very, very pleased with that. They're 13-8-86, leading Port Adelaide 9-7-61. A 25-point margin at three-quarter time. Late 2 goals, David. Put them in good stead.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Port Adelaide generally are the masters of the time on goals. They did the hard work. The Eagles got 2 early goals and got away. Port Magpies came back. And you just thought that maybe the momentum had shifted. And I mentioned about the 20-minute mark, the Eagles found something. They found just a little bit of passion again, and a bit of zest. And when you thought that the momentum had swung Port Adelaide's way, suddenly the Eagles wrestled it back. A couple of late goals. Michael Filippo kicked an important one. Colville's early quarter goal was a good one, but Matthew Kluzak, I think, was the defining moment. He'd spent some time on the bench, came back on, fresh legs. Nick Pesh, who'd been a dominant forward early, was really struggling, running up and down on the spot. You might even see him go to the bench for the final quarter, or perhaps deep into a pocket. But either way, the Eagles just steadied. It's a real sign of maturity for this young Eagles that they were able to do that. Port Adelaide aren't done for all money yet. They're a very good side, but the Eagles are taking it right up to them.
Yes, we see the Eagles. We see the three-quarter time scores here. Eagles 13-8-86. The Port Adelaide Magpies 9-7-61. And you're watching SANFL action on ABC Sport.
Okay, 10 seconds. Intro the Darren Fraser interview. Here we go. 5 seconds. Here we go.
Oh, 25 points. It's not safe for the Eagles, is it, at three-quarter time? I hope you're enjoying this throughout South Australia and the Northern Territory. I think the final quarter is going to be a bruising, tough affair. Port Adelaide don't go down lightly, and I think they'll take it right up to the Eagles at home. Well, as we do each week, we profile the away team. Today, it's Darren Fraser, a valuable pickup for the Magpies from the Bombers.
Clear. Runs 1 minute 30.
Good kid, isn't he?
Yes.
Good kid.
Final score today of the AFL game, the Eagles.
Colville's goal. Handball over the top.
Goal. Yep.
Poole, tough work. Ball comes out. Evans on the lead. Marks plays on goals.
1 minute.
O'Loughlin's marking goal.
14-13.
Oh, Chad, how are you?
And we'll get you up here on special comments. Yeah, how's fitness? Hey? Hey, put a commentary jacket on, quick.
30 seconds. Coming back to the key plays.
Well, he's doing that, Tim, and missing all of last year is soul-destroying, and missing his chance at an AFL career as well.
Actually, I watched him rehabilitate his knee all of last season, and him and young Anthony Sheehan just worked tirelessly in the gym, and he's a full credit to himself. I'm glad he's made it back, and hopefully he holds together.
Injuries can be very cruel, can't they? And we saw an injury to Garen Colville in the first 5 minutes of this game. He spent some time on the interchange bench, but when he came back on, he made a bit of an impact, and he does run very hard. When he kicked the opening goal of the third quarter, you thought the Eagles were away.
Good hands by Rogers to Sikalella, and good piece of work here. James, over the top, very unselfish to Colville. Hard running, as you said, all the way down from the wing position into the square, and got the one over the top from James. You've got to be happy with that, but like you said, you've got to run to get to the position. That's exactly what Colville did.
Now, we discussed during the third quarter, Paul Evans at full forward and Darryl Poole, who's roaming across half forward, and their impact on the game. But Pooley started to get into it, and Evans really got away from Hall just on the one.
So that's what I was saying about his slick work in those tight pack situations. A lot of times it goes unnoticed, and he just gives it over the top, or he gives it through a corridor. And on this occasion, he got it to Holmes, who hit Evans. Evans ran around the man on the mark and kicked a lovely goal.
Now, I wasn't being malicious when I talked about Ricky O'Loughlin and how devastating a player he will be when he loses a little bit of weight and gets himself pretty fit. But when he can do these sorts of things, as athletic as they are, you know that he's got some raw ability.
He's just got talent. He's one-on-one there with Holland. Holland was very disappointed with it. Went on with it and just give him a little taste of the Woodville Oval here and gave himself a 50-metre, which put it beyond doubt. But Ricky O'Loughlin is a very clever player and a dangerous one to have in your pocket of your side. He played full forward in that quarter, but he's a very dangerous one to have at forward.
It's time to go down to Michael Parsons and the Port Adelaide huddle.
Chipping away and chipping away. Don't stop not at any stage. Just change like that. Right? Hey, keep talking. Someone likes having a real crack at it. Haven't finished a couple of times, a few bad bounces and this sort of thing. Don't worry about that. Get on with it. They're going to kick a couple of goals the last quarter. You know, we're looking to win the game, no doubt about that. They'll kick a few goals, but you've got to match it and do a little bit more than them. Right, so just every contest.
Yes, and Gary Treadray working on the ulcers there. I think he's got some work to do. There's no doubt about that. In the Eagles huddle, very positive feel. Mark Micken really pleased with the effort he saw in that quarter. And as we roll into this last quarter, the Eagles game, he says, is to take the ball and run with it. Let's get back to that game. Look after the tackles. You can't let the strong bodies of Port Adelaide break through. Go to the man. Make sure we keep possession as we run out of the half-back line. The Eagles, I think, are looking for a win today.
Thanks, Michael, for that. The three-quarter time scoreboard here at Woodville Oval. It's the Eagles 13-8, Port Adelaide 9-7. At three-quarter time, it's a 25-point margin. Goal kickers, Pesh with 4, the main goal kicker for the Eagles, all kicked in the first half. It's his first game back from injury, and he's gone. And Fraser and Holmes have 2. Holmes, 2 on debut before half-time. A fine effort to the rookie. Statistically, Mark, not much in it.
Yeah, well, 59 more possessions to the Magpies really is pretty cruel, just considering where they are at the moment. But just individually, quickly, McCarthy's had 16 for the Eagles, and Port Adelaide, well, Fraser's had 18 and Carter's had 19. We're back here for the start of the last quarter. Good bounce will start proceedings. Bicklins gets his hand to the ball again. First clearance favours the Eagles. Goes as far as Carter. As you heard, 19 possessions up to three-quarter time. He's having a magnificent afternoon. Shirley comes through, picks up the crumbs, heads home with a kick. Jared Polton's there, going back hard also. Number 41 is Gregory Dempsey, I think, for his first run for the afternoon. Dempsey gets his hands on the ball, can't quite pick it up. Good work by Darzanis once again. In hard again, over the top of it. Oh, the free kick's been paid. Pesh will take it. Brian Lees is not happy with the umpire. I didn't see much in it, Tim.
Leesy went in hard, and I think he was just frightened that he might hurt someone.
The grab high may have been where the free kick was found. Bigland should take this. Has a set, has the mark. Perfect placement. Just sat it on top of Ashley's head. Bigland's had the ride and the sit and took a great mark.
Gee, that was reminiscent, Mark, of a young 16-year-old I saw make his debut here at Woodville Oval a few years back now. He started as a full forward. I think he kicked 5 or 6 goals on debut. Just lost his way through injury after that.
Biglands will follow the ball from behind. The kick wasn't good. He shakes his head. It's another behind. The first score to the Eagles in the last quarter. They move on to 13-9, 87. Port Adelaide 9-7, 61.
There's an interesting onlooker, isn't there? Mr. Peter Rowe,
Norwood coach.
A bit disappointed last night with the Tigers getting up over Norwood at home.
Clayton kicks to himself, clears it long to the half-back flank position, looking for Polton. Almost could have been paid. Bigland's off the ground. It'll go straight back in the direction of Clayton, who takes a good grab. Best on for the Magpies last week against the Dogs. Gets it to McGuinness, who clears it out. Looks like Dempsey on his own. Dempsey goes for a run now, one bounce. Clearing up to the half-forward line. It was a let-off for the Magpies when Bigland's missed that goal. O'Loughlin allows the ball over the top. Poole will be first on it.
And fellas, you think about the homework that coaches do. Round 20, Norwood play Port, and in round 21, Norwood play the Eagles. So he's a long way out as we go to the boundary line, Michael.
And you can see the benches there. Michael Phillippo has injured that left shoulder. He'll sit out the rest of the game. Dillon and Holland also sitting down.
Have you had a report, Michael, from the medical staff down there at Eagle Land about his condition?
No. Not yet, mate, but I'll whip out that Medicare card and go and see what I can find out.
Thanks, Michael. Another matches around town this afternoon. Central 27, West 95. Give that one away, the Bulldogs. And South, look at that. A percentage win.
Well, my money's good.
Well, I think North Adelaide might be taking the wooden spoon.
I think there'll be some boys down the saloon bar, the Esplanade, pretty happy this afternoon.
And that's why they're
seeing the Panthers get up.
Oh, I thought you meant the players.
No, they watch our local football every Saturday and they enjoy.
Floriani, handball to Cicolella.
Let's hear another free beer for Mark on that one, Tim.
Yeah. Round goes Shirley. Shirley up towards the forward line. Nick Pesh versus Clayton. Pesh gets there first. Quick handball to Darzanos was good. Left foot to the square. It's going to be one-on-one contest. Punched away by Polton. Crumbs, Sheehan overran the ball. Fraser did as well. And there was James trying to get his hands on it. Dempsey gets a clearing kick. Ashley will have to wait underneath it. Pearce over the top. Good coverage by Ashley. Waited. Ball cleared by McGuinness to Carter. Very well done. Wing position, Tregenza to Poole. Finds him easily. Gets it back to Tregenza. Runs into some trouble, Trigger. Couldn't get around Fruin. Poole backs him up. Goes to the square. Ricky O'Loughlin one-on-one. Does well. Fraser tries to get there for the crumbs. Eagles defence very, very well done. Gets on top, forces a bounce down right at the top of the goal square for the Magpies.
Terrific contest, that, wasn't it? O'Loughlin there and Whelan. I don't know that you'll get a tougher contest.
Bounce down, just outside of the kick-off square. Vegan, looks like he's been moved up forward.
I reckon it was O'Loughlin and Holland.
Could be, and the bounce up just a metre towards the western side there again. Fruin taking it out of the air. 17 coming through Harwood's crowd. He does concede the behind.
Dangerous work there.
Well, sometimes discretion's the better part of valour, isn't it? You don't like to concede points, but it depends on your perspective, who's coming at you and what you've got around you.
Kick back in by Rogers, finds Fruin. Fruin takes off. Releases the football now. Oh, great mark by Floriani out in front. Ashley nearly got there. The mark's been paid.
It seems to me, Mark, the tougher and rougher the contest, it's almost like Floriani just grows into the contest. He just loves it. When it's soft and flowing, you don't always see him, but when it's tough, mean and nasty, he just seems to grow a leg and really get involved in the contest. He's had 14 possessions and 5 of them have been marks for a little fella. It's not a bad effort.
Ball thrown in. Oh, over the top there was Darryl Poole. Floriani in there again, pretty hard at it.
And it's clear to me...
Poole's not happy.
It's clear that Poole has had a big influence in ruck as we go down to Michael Parsons at the Port bench.
Yeah, and you see the Port bench there. Paul Vines, big Michael Spanigo, and I'm surprised to see Scooter Hahn sitting on the bench. If I was the coach, I think I'd rotate him with Obst, who's had a pretty quiet day.
Bounce down almost centre wing position in front of the grandstand here. The ABC commentary, Woodville Oval. Shirley gets a kick away. Up forward, Beglins does well to contest in front of 2 Magpies. On the ground, Dempsey, Lees, Darzanos in there for the Eagles. We'll have a bounce down. Michael Parsons on the boundary line.
Yes, Mark, the medical report for you for Phillippo, a subcutaneous hematoma, and David, that's bruising.
Had to explain that. Ball's down again. It's knocked down. Carter in there again. As tough as ever. Running hard with it again is Obst. Well, the comment was passed by Michael Parson, and Optus had a quiet afternoon. We may just check with his...
I think he's had 15 or 16 possessions, and I think, to be fair, he's at least broken even. And he set up some important forward thrusts. So, look, I think Michael's been a bit tough. We've all got our own opinion, of course.
Clash of bodies coming through hard. Number 53, Holmes, had a great debut. Well, what's happened here? The umpire's been paid the free kick. Will come back, looks like, to Pierce Floriani. Looks like the player that may receive this.
Well, it was...
Had prior opportunity and Shirley got hold of him. He's just looking for an option to give off.
No, there was something off the ball, which is why Floriani got the free.
Must be. Shirley's got it now. Comes back inside with the kick. It's not good. Coming through is Rogers. Moved up forward once again. Darzanos. What can he do this time? He spots the player in Pesh. Great pickup. Half volley by Pesh. Now heads home with the kick. It's a floater. Growl tricked his crust there. Can't quite pick it up. Kluzak inside. Chips it back in. Back there again. 16 is Sheehan. What can Sheehan do? Under extreme pressure. Coming through hard against Growl. Can he get the ball out? He can't. Darzanos is in there again. Coming in late was Kluzak with Fegan. Not happy with the attention.
Let me pass a comment on young Andrew Crowell. Out of the contest, backed into it, showed great courage, didn't take the mark, followed it up for 50 metres and made 4 and 5 and 6 contests. Now, he didn't get a stat, didn't get a kick, didn't get a mark, didn't get a handball, but 5 or 6 real tough contests.
Oh,
and that's
brilliant.
what you get. You get a point.
It was a brilliant point.
Oh, it's a brilliant point. I was just looking at the ruck work by James. He got over the top of the pack there and knocked it down Darzanos' throat. It was a brilliant piece of ruck work.
Would you have a look at Darzanos in an AFL draft, Tim?
He needs to eat a few pies.
Yeah, but he will, won't he?
Put a little bit of weight on and he'll be all right.
He'll fill out.
25 points the margin, 26 now to the Eagles. Ball punched back into play very well by Biglins. Great vision by Pierce, just misses Sikalella. Olds backs up. I think he's been a good player today. Gets it over to Ashley. Ashley will move it up the flank. Finds McGuinness. McGuinness will chip inside, finding Carter. Carter quickly to give off to Morgan. Morgan one bounce. McGuinness almost gets in the way as he kicks long. Centre half forward, but in front is the Eagles Whelan.
Yeah, it was Whelan on no longer
had a good day.
And he is as tough as they come from Northern Territory, Whelan. This telecast going up there. I think there'll be a few people watching him.
Rogers had to get rid of that quickly. Got it to Fruin. Chips over the top to Ugranic.
Who had cramp just 3 or 4 minutes ago. So
Off he goes. He's a quick player, isn't he? Always has time. And if I was that quick, I'd have time too. Gets it to James. Handball comes out of defence for the Magpies. Brown, he's been tackled by Pierce.
Well, they called you nippy, Tim, so you must have been pretty quick.
Sarcastic comment. That's all it was, and it stuck.
See Brown in there. He's had a bad afternoon, Big Damien Brown.
Oh, I thought he's been terrific since he went into the ruck. He wasn't doing much at centre half forward. But since he's gone onto the ball, his defensive work, particularly where he's dropped back into the hole, has been pretty important.
Ops, quick kick over the top, looking for Fegan at centre half forward. Coming across again as Will. He goes to the ground, then comes up without the football, then finds it. Cross to Sikalala. Sikalala, what can you do this time? Is up towards Bigland. Bigland just pushed under the football. Bit of intelligent play there by Lees. Quick give, quick kick, finds Carter. Carter, premiership player for the Magpies, kicks it up to Fegan. Covering a bit of ground now is Nigel Fegan, one side of the oval to the other. The kick's up high, Paul Evans is the target, Evans flies. Great work by Hall from behind. Down to McGuinness, McGuinness over the top with the handball. Evans just needs a bit of luck here. And he may bring up his second goal, he can't find it. And good work there, 22, Fruin just rushes to behind.
At this stage of the game, I'm going to give the points to Stephen Hall at full-back on Paul Evans. Evans has had a couple of opportunities, had 3 shots for goal, for 1 goal won. But Hall takes the honours at this stage.
That's a fair call.
Looks like another injury.
The Eagles by 25 points.
It's Hall. Now, he went down in that contest, so you may as well get him off and get a match up quickly.
So Fruin kicks it out for the Eagles. Tregenza's trying to get his hands on the football, doesn't pick it up. Whelan in there. He's been a good player for the Eagles today.
Interesting story I followed up on Whelan in Northern Territory, Jim. They reckon he used to tackle buffaloes.
Yes.
Little ones.
It's a good practice.
Little ones up there. That's how tough they reckon he is.
Where do you find these stories?
Come on, David.
Brian Corcoran up in Alice Springs is guilty.
I know Brian.
Yep.
Just keep your concentration here. I can smell pies and sauce, but I'm not floating off.
I can smell Silverside. Bit of red meat. Let's get into it. Back here at Woodville Oval. 88 plays 63. Still the Eagles. That slender lead. It's down O'Loughlin. Handball's over the top. He needs runners. Vines is there. Goes over to Figgett. Figgett. A little bit of a magical work there with the football to keep it in the area. Evans this time being picked up now by Crowell. Crowell just heads for the safety of the boundary line and he finds it.
Ankle injury. Hall. Scott Morford in our camera way. Get out of the way, Scott.
Ball thrown in, right forward pocket. Magpies in attack. Figgett tries to get a punch away. There's a lot of players on top of that ball. Have to be bounced.
This is a big game for the Eagles, by the way. And it looks 12.5 minutes in, they're going to take the money. They're 26 points up.
It's a very important game, you're right, for the Eagles. They want to keep that third spot, but Port Adelaide got an opportunity to kick away from Nord with a win here, but they want to get a couple of goals quickly, otherwise I can just see it pettering out to an Eagles victory. O'Loughlin, he knows the urgency with Port needing a goal. Gets it to Holmes. Holmes slams it on his boot and might have just snuck a little point in for himself. He has. Port Adelaide now exactly 4 goals behind the Eagles. Eagles 13-10 plays the Magpies 9-10, 24-point mark.
Some coaches, Tim, discount a rookie's first game, debut game. They either play extremely well or extremely poorly. Shane Holmes, though, you couldn't help but be impressed with what he's done today.
I agree totally with that. In front, Fraser takes a good mark. Wiggins should have punched away for the Eagles. Didn't do so. Late Fraser to take the mark. Evans on a lead, got away. Got away easily from Crowell. And he was just a bit too quick there. Found plenty of space, didn't he, David?
Dude, now just at the other end, Tim, I'm watching the Eagles have brought Biglands out to centre half forward to match up with Brian Leaves. That's an interesting one.
Important kick here to Evans, very important. 40 metres, 50 metres out as he kicks. He's hooked it, trying to get the extra distance, so he'll get a point. Bring the Magpies to within 23. 13-10 plays 9-11.
Sometimes a forward just needs to kick those. As we go down to Michael Parsons.
Yeah, it's just when Stephen Hall came off there with his ankle injury, Darren Holland went on. He got too enthusiastic, didn't go through the interchange gate, so he has to stay on for the remainder of the day, which I probably won't upset him.
I should remember that one.
Actually, yeah.
I wish I'd have known that rule a bit earlier.
Just while you're down there, Michael, I see that Filippo is looks like his shoulder's strapped at this stage of the match, so it looks like possibly that he may come back on.
Yeah, I think with the ankle injury to Hall, it just puts a bit of pressure on their big man resources, so they're taping it up because he would be in a position to come back on if needed.
If any player could do it, Michael Filippo can. Really, there's a tough ethic in the family.
Kick up forward again. Back with the action live here at Woodville Oval. Ball thrown out there. Good pick up now by Floriani. Floriani, the umpire's picked it up. He has.
It was a throw.
2 other games played around the state this afternoon. We must watch them as well. At Elizabeth Oval, where the Bloods are taking on the Bulldogs.
West are home, aren't they?
West are home easily. And down at Noarlunga, well.
Battle of the Wooden Spoon. You get the money today, Mark.
126 plays. North Adelaide 54.
12 goals the difference there. It's a sad day for the Roosters as O'Loughlin kicks towards centre half forward. Figgett up there. Good crumbing there by McGuinness. Gets a quick kick away. Pull in front. Hands and knees. Well done, Carter. Slips out a handball. Open goal. Holmes. Don't panic, son. You haven't. He's kicked his third. What a debut to the young man. That gets Port Adelaide back in this contest. 13-10, 88 plays. 11-11, 65.
71, 17 points.
It will be 71.
17 points the margin, Tim. And Poole just stayed over the top of the ball. Carter was very good. Look, quick hands. And Holmes was running 3 goals. And you think back just a few years ago, I think Port Adelaide were 24 or 25 points down going into time on against Norwood at Norwood Oval and still won. And you just think that if any side can win, Port can.
There is time.
The Magpies army are here in numbers. They're chanting their side to get up. They need another major. Time is running out. Quick hands by Holmes to Figgett. Figgett left foot comes inside, looks for the big pull. Where is he? He's outclassed this time. Good work by Crowell. Last line of defence. He gets to his feet. The blue and gold mouth guard shoved in the mouth. Wipes his nose, sweat pouring down his brow. He's had a good afternoon. Ball on the 15-metre line for the Maggies. Ball thumped by Shirley forward. Lyons takes it, comes in bowl to Holmes. Holmes tackle as he's kicked it. The Rogers, the evergreen Rogers. As I've said, cool as a Kelvinator, releases the ball, got no player forward, goes for the safety of the ball at boundary line, and he finds it.
I was just about to pass a comment. We're about to find out about the Eagles and their maturity. If they play the boundary line, slow it all down and just take the sting out of Port Adelaide's comeback, you know they're a quality side. And Andrew Rogers just leads the example. Just drops back, heads for the boundary, slows it all down.
You can go defensive too early at times. Don't do that. Don't be a victim of that. Cicolella with the ball. Tries to get around his body. Does it well. Kicks straight. Might have got a free up ground and has. Wiggins will take the resultant free kick. Half-back flank for the Eagles. I think they've got to keep attacking, David, at this stage. It's too early to go defensive. Goes to the wing position will be Matthew Ashley. He'll take the mark. He wants to move it on quick. They know the urgency, the Magpies, to get back in the contest. Ball slightly smothered. Vines doesn't take the ball. Should have. Floriani head over the football, try to just give it to his teammate.
See, Tim, you look at Port, you know now it's vital they get into the corridor and score quick goals. And at every opportunity for off the boundary line, they bring it straight into the middle and attacking down the centre.
Quickest way home. Ruck contest at centre half forward. Fruin gets the ball out. Jurgening.
Bang.
Gets the ball straight to the boundary line, and they're doing it. I tell you what, there was no better example than the 96 preliminary final when North thought they had the contest at the 16-minute mark, started doing this sort of thing. It's a dangerous practice.
Scotty Hodges kicked a miracle goal. Had he not kicked a miracle goal, you were gone.
10 minutes of football to go in this game. The ball's up forward again, looking for Darryl Poole. Crowd's back there, gets one hand of the football. Big Poole, he dives over the top, trying to keep this ball in. Great desperation by Darryl Poole. We see there a bit of a kiss on the cuddle as they go to ground.
Now, Mark, I'm just having a look. Holmes has kicked the only goal this quarter, so there won't be a lot of time on.
Good point.
Good point. Shirley, Holland, Whelan ends up with the football, goes as far as Tregenza. They have the numbers here in support. Tregenza releases the football to Ashley. Ashley, great pressure applied. Looked like Whelan. They've still kept it inside their 50 metres. The Magpies, Bruin goes back, takes a good mark. Nearly spoiled by his own team player. And Crow, little chip, didn't find Crow. Crow takes off. He takes on Darryl Poole. Now puts the kick down the wing at the back. Mark nearly taken there by Dempsey. Coming up with us is Darzanos. Darzanos comes down the line. He had time to run with it then. He has the pace. Leach goes for the safety of the boundary line.
Safety first, isn't it? When you've got no other options. The boundary line's the defender's friend. No more professional defender than Brian Lees. I don't know that I've seen him beaten on more than one or two occasions.
Fair call. Obst over the back, gets the punch towards the boundary line again, and they edge it forward. Well, we're nearly 20 minutes, 19 and a half minutes into this contest. Last term here at Woodville Oval. The Eagles 88, 17 points in front of Port Adelaide 71.
And I don't think this contest will go much more than 24 minutes, maybe a half.
So a quick goal needed for the Magpies if they want to get back into it. The Eagles can get another one and steady the ship. Fraser with the ball. He's tackled well by Colville.
By the way, the Crows went down by 2 points, Tim.
Oh,
not that you'd care.
No, that's an excellent effort, isn't it, really? In the events of the week, that's an excellent effort. Wing position. Jurgening kicks towards full forward. In front, Sheehan tries to take the chest mark. Pesh, crammed beautifully. He's finished it off for the Eagles. Running on empty, kicks another one. That's his fifth. The Eagles 14. Well, a 23-point margin now. Eagles 14-10-94. Port Adelaide 10-11-71. I think that was the last surge by Port Adelaide.
Very good comment, Tim. Nick Pesh running on empty. He kicked 4 first-half goals. He's kicked a couple of points in the third quarter, early in the third quarter. He hasn't seen any of the ball. And the defining moment in the game, an important goal required, and Nick Pesh pops it right through. The vice-captain. That's a great vice-captain's goal.
94 plays 71. 21-minute mark in this final quarter. The kick favours Tregenza. Fraser to Tregenza. Tregenza keeps running. He goes over the top again. The kick by Figert. It's high. Is it long enough? I don't think it is. It's punched back in by Crowell. then runs out of bounds.
They are the masters at Port Adelaide. Tight games, close finish. They're going straight down the middle and they're running hard and straight. Nothing wide, nothing fancy. And that really could have resulted in a goal, and they're back in the contest.
Some more changes have been made down at ground level. The forgotten man in Spanigal, I think Michael Parsons, come back on.
Yes, Mark, just running back on now, but there's some nervous people in that Eagles box sitting next to me.
No wonder this is a very, very important game for the Eagles. It consolidates them in third spot. They're going into round 18 next week. They take on West Adelaide at round 17, correction. Stirred it on the Oval. Another big test.
Bounce down only 15 metres from the Port Adelaide goal. The Eagles get the tap clear. Holland on the ground, tries to clear. Gets it over the boundary line, and they'll just be desperately playing for time now. 22.5 minutes into the last term at Woodville Oval. It's the Eagles by 23 points. Throw in right forward pocket. The Magpies in attack. Fegan versus Bruin. Ball comes forward. Nobody can get it clear. Rogers gets out of trouble well. Has a bounce, the 34-year-old veteran, Floriani. Slaps it onto his boot. McCarthy in front. He's taken a pack of those marks today. He's been great for the Eagles. Nobody on the mark. He's just looking to slow it down. 6 marks, 16th possession, I've been told. Holland slips it inside the corridor to Rogers again. They're running the Eagles. Out to Jurgenik. Been a good battle with him and Tregenza on that wing. As they'll do it again. Tregenza does well. Pearce picks up the football, runs in a circle. Slips it out to Colville. Colville marks right half forward flank, and you can just hear the Eagles crowd. Their appreciation. They know they're home. Jurgenik runs on. Takes a mark. He's going to chip into the corridor where McCarthy is worked down. That's excellent running. Takes a mark in the corridor. He's 40 metres out from goal, dead in front.
Players looking very tight out there, Tim.
Yeah.
We just noticed in Tregenza really was only cantering, trying to get there to Ugritic, coming back inside again. McCarthy just pushed down so hard. Port players just not going with them. All players look tired, and so they should be. It's been a great contest this afternoon.
I just feel the Magpies had to be a bit closer at three-quarter time than 25 points, and looks like that's the way it's going to pan out. McCarthy to finish it off here for the Eagles if he can. Kicks long. Well, he's hooked this one, looking for a bit of extra distance. Gets another point for the Eagles. I'll go to 14-11, 95. Port Adelaide 10-11, 71. 24-point margin. Clayton will bring the ball back in for the Magpies. But Mark, I think with 24.5 minutes into the last term, she's just about over.
Kick in, will find Lees. McCarthy comes across. Good work there by McCarthy. He's got something left. Chips the ball up to Floriani. Floriani, just settle yourself and kick for goals, fella. He's done that. It's a major to the Eagles. I think that's the nail in the coffin. That was needed for the Eagles supporters here this afternoon. And those sitting at home, they'd have to be pretty happy with their team's effort this afternoon.
Well, we've got to suggest, fellas, that with West Adelaide's big victory over Central Elizabeth and Port's form here, they lost to Central last week. They're going to lose to the Eagles today. What a clash next week it's going to be when Port take on West. I guess we've got 2 options for the game of the day, haven't we, Sturt and the Eagles? But what about Port and West? That really will factor the final 5.
Oh, this competition is alive, David. Nothing better than the local football.
Back in the middle of the ground, Obbs coming out of the centre. O'Loughlin's been put on the ball. Obbs misses the sharp handball but doubles it up well. Here's a Gazelle. Goes long to the square. There's nobody home. It's all Eagles. And Whelan takes the grab. Plays on quickly. Clears it out wide. He finds Colville. Colville steps around a play. He's got 2 to get around now. Quickly snaps it on the boot. Tregenza there late, but Ugrinik takes it easily. He's had a lot of kicks, 18 today. Up to Pearce. Pearce, who's been a great player for the Eagles all season, takes it on the wing. He's had 19 possessions today. Gets it to Fruin on the run. Fruin with a wobbly old pass. McCarthy tries to take it. Lees will see it over the boundary line. No, the acting skipper keeps it in. Ricky O'Loughlin takes it over the line. So we'll have a throw in. The Eagles now 30 points in front. 15-11 plays. Port Adelaide's 10-11. We are completely shaded over here at Woodville Oval. It's been a good day for footy. Rain held off. We've seen a good top versus third clash. Andy Obbs away with a handball over the top to Tregenza. Tregenza in towards centre half forward. Paul loses front position, but gets hanging on free, and I don't think it was there. But Darryl, you can take it. Chips it on, finds Fraser. Fraser over the top of him. He doubles up with a great tackle. Could have been holding the ball because he just laid it on the ground one-handed, didn't he, Mark?
That had to be holding the ball. I don't know what the umpire was doing then. I think he was still back there watching Darryl Paul, but the Eagles player just put the ball on the ground. Should have been penalised. 101 plays 71. A 30-point margin. Fraser takes a good tackling again. That's what I've been impressed with this afternoon, is the amount of tackling that's been displayed out there by both sides. No doubt before the game does finish, make it Dave Mackay just to look at the best players from both teams.
Well, it's not going to be easy, Mark, I can tell you. I've looked through the Eagles and I like about 8 or 9 players, and I think it's been a pretty even spread. I think even the fellows at the club will have difficulty. Whelan amongst them, one of the better players, but I think we might cover it a little bit more later. But you're looking for 3-2-1 and you're an umpire in this match, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Oh, it's been a tough afternoon out there. The boys will enjoy their apples and bananas that they eat these days after games. Back in our days, it was always a cold beer. Players looking for a cigarette. Well, the final siren here, a 30-point margin. Favour the Eagles. They were 15-11, 101. The Magpies, 10-11, 71.
And you've got to say that this is a defining moment for the Eagles. Tipped at the start of the year to finish in the bottom 2 or 3.
Was a kick.
There's still a free kick to come, so the final scoreboard won't quite be the final scoreboard, but I think it is still a defining moment. Poole, who really didn't have much impact in the first half, but certainly did in the second half, will get a shot for goal. But the Eagles now haven't lost at home this season. It's become a bit for them like Albertson for the Magpies, but the Magpies did lose last week. Regardless of the kick, you might just walk us through it, Mark.
Darryl Paul goes through with the kick. It looks like a major, it is. Well, that's Darryl Paul's first goal for the afternoon. In fact, it's his second. He kicked one in the first quarter, one in the last. So that takes the Magpies now to 11-11, 77. The Eagles 15-11, 101. David.
24 points, final margin. I guess the Eagles would be pretty content with that. Port Adelaide have a little bit of work to do as we go down to Michael Parsons.
Better players on the ground today, Spiro Desenos. Spiro, it's a very important win for the Eagles today.
Yeah, it was. You know, Nord got knocked off last night, and you know, we found out this is like virtually the top spot, and we came away with the goods.
And Rhett Biglands, he played a great game in the ruck, mate, of these for some of your little guys.
Yeah, he did. He stands up very tall for us, all over the ground, and yeah, did well.
Yeah. Must have been a bit of a disappointment to lose Matty Pavlich before the game.
Yeah, Matty did something to his driver when he was away in the state team, and yeah, it was, but we just did all right without him, and there we go. Yeah,
and getting plenty of run off the back line, and even the old fella and John McCarthy played a good game today.
It did all right, and the back line very well again this week.
All right, Spiro, thanks for taking the time to have a chat with us. Thanks.
So the final scoreboard here at Woodville Oval, 15-11 the Eagles, 11-11, 24 points the final margin in favour of the Eagles.
Yeah, they would be very pleased with that. Mark Micken would be extremely pleased. That gets him that top 3 position. Pesh kicked 5 for the Eagles. Floriani and Darzanos 2 each. Singles to Philippi, Pearce, McCarthy and Colville. For Port Adelaide, Holmes on debut, kicked 3. Great game from him. Fraser and Poole 2 each, and singles to Harm, McGuinness, Evans and O'Loughlin.
And statistically, the Eagles really didn't have as much of the ball as Port Adelaide. 180 to 197 and 67 handballs to 103. You just wonder whether Port Adelaide overdid it, but the Eagles certainly played a direct brand of football.
Look at that centre break, 16-8. That's a big statistic.
And last night it was Norwood and Glenelg at Norwood Oval, and Glenelg running out victors. Simon Hill's 150th game.
It was a great victory, wasn't it?
Sorry about that, we were expecting a score, but we'll get there. There it is. Glenelg and Norwood, 9-12 to 8-11. West and Central today, it was 20-10 to 6-12, and the progressive score at no longer. It's 21-13 to 10-6, but South Adelaide will take the 2 points there in the battle of the wooden spoon, and of course Sturt had the bye. Last night it was Richmond and Melbourne at the MCG. The Tigers playing a terrific brand of football. Got up, Matty Richardson kicked 7 goals. And today it was the Brisbane Lions over St Kilda. That was a big one for them. The Western Bulldogs, 40 points down at three-quarter time, getting up by 2 points over Adelaide. Interesting result, that one. Tonight it's Kangaroos and Geelong at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and tomorrow an important clash for Port Adelaide as their hunt for the finals continues. They take on Sydney at Football Park, Carlton at MCG, Hawthorn, Collingwood, West Coast and Fremantle, and next week North and Norwood. Sturton Eagles now game live on the ABC is Port and West at Albion. What a game that now takes on. Glenelg and Central at Glenelg. South Adelaide go to the bye. Well, Tim, gee, I enjoyed that clash today. We've not got much time left, but it was a beauty.
Well, David, I can tell you how important it was. The Eagles are now third and clear by game. West Adelaide fourth, better percentage than the others. Norwood are now top by percentage over Port Adelaide, equal on points. And if you're an Eagles
fan and you want a video, and I think a few might, the ABC Match of the Day video is available by phoning 8343 4601 during office hours, and I think there'll be plenty of Eagle people that will want to see that. See you next week, fellas. Thanks very much for your help. Thanks for your company at home. It's Port and West next week. We now join the National Netball League between the Adelaide Thunderbirds and the Melbourne Phoenix. Bye for now.
Well done.
Where'd the bell?
Sorry, mate.
David to Dennis. We need to do the promo. Promo. Jamir, can you get rid of the on-air out of my headset? Jamir, thanks, mate. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, sorry. I'm on this one. Thanks, Jamir. I'm in the commentary area, Graham. Hang on, Tim, we're just doing a record. Promo in 5. As we come into the final stretch of the season, the ABC footy cameras are going live this Saturday to Albertson Oval for the big match between Port Adelaide and West Adelaide. As these two sides fight for a spot in the final 5, watch the sparks fly this Saturday at 2:15 on ABC TV Sport. In 5. As we come into the final stretch of the season, the ABC footy cameras are going live today to Albertson Oval for the big match between Port Adelaide and West Adelaide. As righto, in 5. Righto. In 5. As we come into the final stretch of the season, the ABC footy cameras are going live today to Albertson Oval for the big match between Port Adelaide and West Adelaide. As these two sides fight for a spot in the final 5, watch the sparks fly today at 2:15 on ABC TV Sport. Righto. I am. I'm going back to the pub and the money's on the bar. You're quite right. Well done. See you, mate. I'll talk to you next week.